But
well, no, it's just the point is basically you're to be the transmuters were Vanessa Hellstrom. So that's forgotten his name. Darius Hellstrom's daughter. If you know of your Deadlands stuff, you know Hellstrom's not exactly the most.
Vanessa Hellstrom is a lie.
Basically, Hellstrom Industries is sort of always been there, and they're always been cutting edge. And sometimes they say their stuff's evil. But some, I mean, they were the only Hellstrom created automatons back in the 19th century. And no
right, no, I get it. I understand why the suit stuff, because the nanites are,
come out of you.
they come out of me, and they would need to go out somewhere, and if they didn't, I'd have a problem.
Well, it's not that you wouldn't have it's not that you'd have a problem if they couldn't get outside of your spacesuit, because you do control them.
But right, but if they don't get out of the spacesuit somehow, then they're not doing anything.
Exactly, yeah. It is the sort of one interesting limitation of the breakers. That said, if you're in a space, how often you're going to be in a spacesuit really depends on what's going on, if that makes sense. I mean, if you're all in spacesuits, then either you're for some reason you're on a planet with no atmosphere, or even more worryingly, you something's happened to the ship. Which I will point out, by the way, before the end of the reason I'm starting off with one of the plot points from the book is, without giving anything away, you will end up with a ship.
No, but it just seems like a pretty interesting concept, and so that was sort of where I was leaning. But again, I defer to the group as to what they're thinking about too. But
well, indeed. Well, this is the whole idea of the whole Session Zero thing. So, so basically, yeah. So really, I suppose the way to start is, how many have we got and who's missing? I know someone's off. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players on voice. Who isn't here?
Robert isn't here yet.
Yeah.
Well, there's one person who can't make it.
Yep, which is absolutely fine.
That's M. Grancy.
Yeah, that's M. Grancy, which is fine. I can't remember who signed up for this one. No, that's the Savage Tale. That's the. I have to admit, actually, after creating all the characters for the one shot, I'm thinking, do you know what? There's a part of me that I suddenly got the idea that actually a Russian party for Weird War 2 campaign could be quite interesting. Because it gets around the whole female characters issue as well. Because of course, medics, snipers, they served pilots. They were still in the military. But I'm actually more looking forward to Deadlands. So that's okay. John.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll do the Wasp thing. I found an awesome portrait. I'm really happy with, so I'm good.
That's fine. Yeah, no. Wasp was a useful get out. I think actually, having a look at this, I'm trying to work out who John Butler 39 is. I don't think he's played with us before.
Yeah, is that who's missing?
Rob's missing. M. Grancy, who couldn't make it, and John Butler 39.
Okay, I'll send John a thing. He was playing. He first played with me on Rise of the Rune Lords and loved it, and just wanted to, I think, kind of keep going. He played with us in the one shot that I did. He plays over at Pug a lot.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I just didn't recognise it. I'm worried that I missed that it was somebody who may or may not have played with us before, and therefore he may not have any details of the Discord server or anything.
No, because remember, he was in on the server because I did the Goblin dealio here.
Of course you did. Yes, indeed, that was fun.
And so, right, and so he was with us. So he got he was the one that you sent the invite to then. So I mean, he was in and posting in here.
Okay, did I add him into the Discord section? I wonder. Oh.
Well, so I'm up in here. I'll send. You want me to send him a message?
Would that be Darth Hilaris?
Yes, that is.
Yeah. He says he's not going to make it. He's been called into work. He's just literally just texted me. in Discord.
Okay, cool. So he was on top of it then. All right.
That's okay. Okay, right. Well, then you guys get to you. So it sounds like it sounds like we're. I'm not sure else what's else supposed to go for. It looks. I judging from portraits, I get the distinct impression. Jiminy Monk is going for a Nanook non-human.
Yes.
From portraits, are we doing pictures right now? Or
No,
Oh, no,
I
I'm just-
put up. I get a portrait up there that's suitable for generically suitable, but I can switch that out. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do. As far as I kind of wanted because one of the things this party is notoriously lax in is nobody ever wants to play the medical type or the healer type. Always really short when it comes to medics and healers.
no one likes the cleric. in
This
this group, huh?
Anouk character, Himini, he become a warrior because he was having these dreams of this little small woman with purple hair who kept telling him to go to the dojo, go to the dojo. So he become a warrior.
Oh,
We're gonna have to
that's his
get back to that
backstory.
sooner or later. Waif was a ton of fun to play.
Okay,
He doesn't know what her name was. He just kept hearing it. Go to the dojo.
Does it? I mean, is everyone sort of up on the idea and the backgrounds of Deadlands Lost Colony, and any questions about the background of the lore? Well, we're
Yeah, I did a lot more reading over the past few days because lately I haven't been retaining stuff all that long. Fortunately, most of the games I'm in are long term, so I don't really need to like.
So, also from my perspective, because obviously this may affect your character arts, all that. I do suspect, given that you guys will end up, there'll be sort of 6 or 7 of you, or 5 to 7, depending how many players actually able to make it. Ultimately, that's the thing of why I didn't limit it to 6, because I figured, well, we'll get people who sign up and then can't make it. So I'd rather start with a bigger number, and hopefully we'll get a finally level out like we did before with about 4, 5, or 6 characters on a regular basis. So the way I think the sort of riding sort of background behind all the plot lines and everything else is, I think if you take the mentality that if we really embrace it is the Wild West in space, which basically means it's which always springs to mind to me Firefly and Serenity, and I suspect whether it goes that way obviously depends on what character actions are and what I find here and there. But I think if you sort of think of the fact that you guys will have a ship, you guys will all be sort of co-owners of the ship, as it were, and it won't be a combat vessel. It will be some broken down ship that's barely hanging on most of the time, type thing. And you may or may not be looking for jobs. As I say, a lot of it will be driven by you because it's a campaign rather than one shots. But I sort of had this sort of slight picture in my mind that from a ship and crew perspective, if you're sort of thinking along the lines of a Firefly group of people sort of barreling around on the ship trying to survive and make a living, as it were, that's my gut feeling of the way we may be looking at it. You guys may feel completely different, and that's not a problem. And if you've got any feelings on how you want the campaign, what you want to get out of the campaign or how you want it to go, by all means, now's the time to go for it. I'm hoping it won't be too combatty all the time, which I've sometimes felt Sprawl Runners. I mean, I don't think you guys necessarily felt that way, but I did find sometimes it seemed to be a bit more combat heavy than I originally envisaged. But it really depends on what type of games you guys want. Do you want more cerebral role play stuff, or a balance of mix, or what type of things do you want to get out of the game?
We want cerebral until we start fighting. Then we want to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
Are we smugglers then?
Well, again, I think it's up to you guys. Also, this is another thing. You guys can either already know each other or know each other. But when the game starts, obviously, as I put in that teaser there, in the teaser text way back when, because it is the setup for the sort of the plot point campaign, and it's a nice way to start it off. But it's basically basically the news has broken that in 2 days an asteroid's going to hit Banshee, and you guys don't have a ship to escape the planet, So you better hope some heroes save the day. So whether you guys know each other before the campaign starts, again, is something you can sort out amongst yourselves. When the as I say, you will end up theoretically knowing each other, assuming that you survive the first plot point. And as I say, without giving a spoiler away, just because I want you to have it in the back of your mind when you think about your characters, you will get your own ship, because it's obviously without a ship you're fairly limited in what you guys can do. So they put one in on the plot point for you to get hold of. I'm not saying necessarily it's a good ship, but it is a ship. So if you wanted to get your ship and you want to be smugglers, why, by all means. I mean, again, go back to the whole Farfly thing. Mal isn't a smuggler, but he will smuggle if the job comes along. It might be that type of mentality. It's whatever you get to live.
I thought they were smugglers through and through. That's why they had that particular ship, because it was good for smuggling.
It probably was.
They were rebels.
Exactly. This is the point, isn't it? They might not have thought of themselves as smugglers, but that was probably the most common job they would get because of the nature of who they were and who they'd work with, type thing. So yeah, by all means.
I think they thought they were honorable, but they definitely knew they were smugglers.
Exactly. Agreed. I don't disagree with that. I think it's very good strategy. If you bear in mind, you got to bear in mind, unfortunately, much as the verse is a marvelous place for role playing with so many planets, the faraway system is a bit more grounded in number of habitable planets. I think it's a grand total of 2.
I'm a rebel, Dottie. I'm a loner. What's the password again?
Furious Dice.
Furious Dice.
No capitals, right?
Mixed caps.
Yeah, mixed caps. Capital F, capital D, no spaces.
Yeah, capital F, capital D, no spaces. Basically, I made it quite straightforward. It's the same name as the Discord server, because that way,
Oh, that's good to know. That's
so
a good mnemonic.
Exactly. If you just look at when you're on the server at the very top, you should just see Furious Dice, and that's why I don't change the password.
And if you go
something
playing all
along
of
those lines,
if you're playing all of Doswog's games because you can and it annoys them, then you memorize
it. Okay, so from memory, I'm sorry, I'll see if I find the image actually. Campaign images.
Okay, quick question. I see 3 characters up there. What have we got so far?
Well, I haven't decided. I'm waiting to see where the holes are.
I'm the guy that runs up the front and bashes the crap out of things.
Okay, and you're Himini, got it.
And Larry is an archaeologist with some breaker and a former breaker student who didn't quite was in the last class when everything went tits up.
And I haven't put one in there, but I was planning on being a breaker.
Don't have a problem with 2 of you, especially.
Yeah, so Larry's like a semi-breaker.
So if we have 2 breakers, do we have anybody that can fix stuff?
Well, I was thinking about being a pilot.
Nice.
Well, I'm sliding either towards mechanic or medic, because those are 2 places we usually have holes.
Yeah,
I can do medic.
I can't do any tech stuff. I've got low tech already, and I've got all thumbs.
Mechanics are a thing. I mean, we'd need somebody to keep the ship in repair, since the breakers don't fix stuff; they break it.
It's like medic for the car.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So from your so I've just put up this faraway system map, which from your perspective, Banshee and Base Prime, which is a moon of Chanukara, I should say, are the only 2 habitable planets in the system, as it were. Then obviously, but there's an awful lot of I mean, Tunnel Station is there. There will basically you'll either spend most of your time on. You will probably spend a lot of your time on Banshee. It'd be very unusual. You may end up on Base Prime, but that's where the X4 are. The Expeditionary Force, and they're a bit nutty, to be honest. So you'll probably be Tunnel Station is Hellstrom Industries owned, and therefore the odds are you won't get near it unless you're doing a job for them, or you've got a lot of money and you can afford to buy stuff from them. So you'll probably spend most of your time on Banshee, or traveling between other stations that will get added on to the system as the game goes on, and and probably an awful lot of time in the belt, because obviously that's where a lot of the mining is. They found ghost rock out in the belt.
Is the asteroid going to destroy the planet or just kill people?
Yeah, basically. Well, it's going to do a lot of damage. Whether it how much damage, whether it's going to kill you or not, I'm not entirely sure.
Well, it really just matters what the perception is. Is it?
Don't look up.
It's a good film. That was a bloody good film. I have to admit, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I've watched it 3 times now, I think.
It's very good.
Really, I'll have to.
It's very good.
You have to
film.
watch right
And
to the end of the credits.
I was
as
going to
well.
say, make sure you watch. There is a brilliant mid or post credit sequence that is very good.
Yeah,
as well.
there's one in the mid
Oh, are you
credits and there's
kidding
one
me?
right
That's
at the end as well.
perfect at the end there.
Mom,
What is
Mom.
that? I believe that's called.
Anyway, the action begins the day after a planet-wide announcement that warns colonists of Nemesis, a recently detected large asteroid on collision course with Banshee. The Banshee Defense Force already has a response in motion to divert the asteroid, but those with the ability to get off planet are encouraged to do so just in case. That's what you'll have been told.
Okay.
What are the options? You can be a human and then
Human, or
and Anouk.
Anouk. If you're and then on top of that, obviously your other choices from Arcane background perspective is you can be a guardian who can be human or Anouk, or you can be harrowed. But in both those cases, you have to decide how your character died.
Okay.
You can start off dead.
Yeah, you can start the game dead.
Right.
Your character has already died when the game starts.
Because this is just an extension of Hell on Earth, right?
Which Kevin tried to explain with some sort of advantage, but I couldn't follow his thinking.
Well, the real difference is
Harrods are pretty powerful, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, basically, what happened is basically Lost Colony is the last of the 3 original Deadlands settings. So obviously, Hell on Earth was post-apocalyptic Deadlands. As part of the storyline in Hell on Earth, Darius Hellstrom built the ship the Unity, which was the first ship able to travel faster than the speed of light, and it went off course and something went wrong and discovered the Faray system and the planet that became known as that humans call Banshee because of the howling winds that are constantly blowing across it. But it was an inhabited planet that was then discovered to have ghost rock on it. So then Tunnel Station was built, and Hellstrom Industries was able to open up a permanent wormhole portal between Earth. Between the Sol and the Faraway system, which is like 120 light years from Earth. And then one day, without warning, the tunnel. Everyone started coming out here. The place was colonized, and then one day the tunnel, without warning, closed. And then sometime later, the Unity turned up, and without any real explanation or warning, took not all, but 99% of the Psychers back to Earth. And since then, you've had no contact with Earth. You're a lost colony. That's where you are. So yes, it is Deadlands. So harrowed, yes. So if you die and come back harrowed, you are technically undead, and you do have all the benefits and the disadvantages of being a bit dead. And you are technically dead, but you're up around and moving. If you die and come back as a guardian, you become a guardian of the planet. You become one of Banshee's guardians, and basically, ultimately, everything you do is to protect Banshee. The difference is you actually are not undead. You literally come back fully healed. You're actually resurrected by the planet, basically. But then, obviously, become a Banshee guardian. And someone was asking about. Actually, I was checking up on it. But if you're a guardian and off Banshee, you don't have any. You don't use your powers. You actually have to leave the Faray system before you have some issues there. So that's not so much an issue. If you want to be an Anouk shaman, you lose your powers if you leave Banshee, because for some reason your powers are linked to Banshee. Obviously, if you're a Nook, you know the planet's alive. Of humans, if you're a Guardian, you know the planet's actually alive. But if you're not, if you're not one of those, you may have heard stories that people believe the planet's alive, and it's up to you whether you believe them or not. But if you're an Anuk Shaman, you can leave Banshee. You must take Tannis Rock with you, and you need £1 for each power point you want to have when you're off planet, and you've got to carry it around with you. For some reason, having some Tannis Stone on you means you can still cast spells. So that's pretty much the limitations of the arcane backgrounds. So in answer to Rob saying he wants to be a pilot, as I was saying, at the start of the game you don't get a ship, but you will get one. I know that's a minor spoiler, but you will be having, unless it all goes horribly wrong, you do get a ship. Sorry.
Is there an easy way to look at the rules in using the Fantasy Grounds thing?
If you go into modules and then you click on activation,
I think I did that already.
You should see
modules. Wait a minute. I see it. Okay.
Yeah. So you open up the modules window, then activation. You should see the modules. One of them should be the player's guide.
I do. Thank you.
That's okay. Now, obviously, you've got most of the shortcut links, but the actual player's guide at the top there is the whole player's section of the rulebook, which is the same as the PDF that I most certainly didn't share out.
What do we do to start creating our character? Just start picking hindrances and stuff, and just follow the steps on page 34 or whatever it is.
Yes.
32.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got an account on Savaged US, that will basically does have the Lost Colony in there, which means it makes it very easy to build your character, or you can just build it. The idea of the session 0 was to actually have a chat, talk about characters, and work everything out. So yeah, that's the idea. Once you're ready to keep going, get going, and that's it. So I think it sounds like people have got ideas on what they want at the moment. So
do we have a Harwood? Is anybody playing a Harwood that wants to admit it? I guess.
Well, if you get close enough to them and they're not smelling, they'll either smell pickled of alcohol or they'll smell of rotting meat.
Yeah, I'm not playing any of them things. I'm just playing a warrior.
We don't have any supernatural.
No.
That's right now.
At the moment, we don't have any supernatural at all, which is quite interesting for Deadlands.
Kevin, your suggestion is to create the character on Savaged? Create an account on Savaged?
I personally, I always create all my characters on Savaged. It's up to, I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to. But what I'm trying to say is, it makes life a lot easier because it does all the checks for you. If that makes sense.
Okay, I need that. That sounds good.
So,
thank you. I'll do it that way.
Where is Savaged? How do I get there?
Savaged.us.
So it's a website. And when you get in there, you can. I think actually you can just literally now, when you click on once you've got in, there's a new setting button. You can literally. They now have a lovely list, and one of the options is Deadlands Lost Colony. So you just click on that, and it will load in the books. And that's
Do they have superpowers up yet?
They have the original, but I don't think they've got the second one because that was only. I mean, there is supers, but I suspect that's old supers. Let's have a look. Or it might be pre-release. I don't know.
No, I'm doing it now. You go to select books and you just do sway.
We can do it all in Fantasy Grounds easy enough.
Yeah.
And then the setting is Deadlands Lost Colony. There's no others that we're checking, right?
No, all you need is the Suede book and Deadlands Lost Colony. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were adding other stuff. I heard people talking about supers and stuff, so I didn't know.
No. I think they were just asking if supers isn't on there yet. I've been surprised if it had been. No, I wouldn't be adding supers in yet.
Yeah, supers is there. So it's just those two. We're playing straight. That's all I was.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh crap! I think I just.
There's on your character sheet on the traits tab on the advances thing. There's a plus button next to mini. If you click that, it shows you the summary of how your character's edges and how many points you've spent and all that.
Yes, so
which is the same as checking it on Savage US, but yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have to buy these books?
No. It's
Okay.
all if you're doing it, it's all there.
It says no Suede compatible companions, no Suede compatible
What
book.
were you saying about clicking something on the character sheet in Fantasy Grounds?
On
What was
yeah,
that?
on the traits tab, on the and you got down the bottom on the left. There's the advances tab.
Uh-huh.
There's a little plus sign next to novice, and it opens up a character summary and shows you what points you spent, or how many points you spent, and what you've got in edges and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know, your skill should be
Hang on, hang
17 unless you get any for your race, and your attribute should be 5 unless you get any for your race. And the edges should be 2.
Okay.
On Savaged, if you click to start a new character, it should give you the option of various settings you can default your character into. I think that Lost Colony is one of the default ones that you can select, and
It
it'll
is for me.
auto-load your
If it
books.
doesn't work for you, by all means, we can just sort of work a log in Fantasy Grounds, and I can sort of sit there with a running it in the background if you're having fun and games with it.
Now, I have a question for you. On the player's guide, page 37, it says other arcane backgrounds. Could I bring a grifter in?
Grifters became Grifters. Hang on,
Hey, what books?
Well,
What books are we checking on Savaged US?
By default, Suede and Lost Colony.
Okay. I just have to find Lost Colony.
It's next to. It's under Deadlands. So it's
Under
under.
Actually, no, I don't
Deadlands.
want to cowboy it.
Under D. I'm really not seeing it. Huh. Missing something. This doesn't make sense. Deadlands. No Suede compatible books. I'm not seeing it for some reason. Savage Worlds. Edition.
Yeah, you can do it all inside Fantasy Grounds anyway.
Just do it inside Fantasy Grounds. I just thought if you can get, it's it's my default go to. That's so I'm used to it now.
I already made the account, so might as well figure out how to use it. I'm not seeing that when I settings. Settings.
What else do I need?
I'm in the settings menu.
Might as well get a canteen.
General.
Having some weird
Select books. I don't want that book. That doesn't make sense. Huh.
I've got some very weirdness of my own. What is going on?
So we're really just a nuke or human, right?
Pretty much. Okay. The only question I would say is, how did it? The only problem. Yeah, Deadlands in a while goes and mucks everything up, doesn't it?
Can't hear you.
If it's too much effort, don't worry about it. I won't bring him. I just thought it would be interesting to have somebody from a different setting pulled in, since it was an option.
I didn't notice that was an option. I have to be honest. Gosh darn you, sir. Gosh, I don't know why my microphone's got a lot more directional than it used to be. I used to be able to turn away and people could hear me. Now they can't. Probably can't hear me now because I'm looking down.
We can hear you, just kind of like far away.
And then I'm probably fine now. Okay. Hey, other arcane backgrounds. There are many backgrounds, character size settings, retain their powers and abilities.
Answers. I hate to be an idiot, but I'm still not finding that book on Savaged US.
Your screen. I'm having fun in games in the fact that I can't actually get back in. But if you do if you want to share your screen, we might be able to work out what's going on. Definitely up with my computer. Big sulk.
Yeah, it looks like Lost Colony. You have to be a paid member in order to have access to it.
Oh, that's
Oh.
annoying. Sorry, I did not realise that. I apologise.
Yeah, I had to check and make sure myself. Yeah, none of the Deadlands stuff is available unless you're paid. So
Okay,
that's
so I
annoying.
guess I've paid, so that's why. But
Yeah,
you
I've
know,
paid.
you could Doswell could make a campaign.
Oh yeah, I've got version 3. I've not worked out how to do this
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
Okay, let's do
yeah.
it.
Or we could just do
You
it in
could
Savage
probably just make a
Worlds.
campaign,
Dooba
click
doo.
Lost Colony, and then just it'd give you a share dealio.
Oh, great. The only fun and games I'm having is my what is going on?
Thank you for solving that puzzle. That explains why I can't see it.
Why am I having what is
Okay.
going on? I am
Save.
having a really strange issue.
Comes below. It comes below.
Oh, there. It's just right. Oh, crikey! You're kidding me. Is that all it was?
Probably just that.
No. Yeah, it was. Oh, for crying out loud! My one password wasn't launching, and it was just launching it on the second monitor that it's never been on before, which really totally threw me. Right, so now
That's frustrating.
I'm sitting there going, "Why aren't you working?" And I've just found there's 6 versions of it running, sitting on my second monitor that I don't look at when I'm GMing as a rule. It's just sitting there because I'm still sorting out the actual fact. I need to sort out the macros. Okay, announcing the Vita version 3. Okay, so how do I do a campaign? Okay, so how do I? Anyone know how to create a campaign on version 3 beta?
I'm kind of stumbling my way through it right now.
Okay, here are campaign. New campaign. Here we go. Setting. Okay, select books. Deadlands. I can't.
Actually, if you load and save this setting, you hit the global one and it'll auto load Suede and Deadlands for you.
Oh, excellent. Oh yeah, load and save this setting. Click the global. Deadlands Lost Colony. There we go. Deadlands Lost Colony. Okay, so then I won't worry about campaign introductions at the moment. Setting doesn't use factions. 12 points, legendary, core skills. Everything looks okay and look human. Okay, so let's go. Books. The biggest problem with Noir is, of course, it's deluxe, isn't it? And yeah, it doesn't even show up. I think I'm going to say, well, I'll have another think about that in a second, because they used to set it up so there is a way. There is a way, but I'm not sure. Okay, add. Okay, there is a campaign. So then okay, so I have a campaign. Now what do I do? There are no players. How do I add players? Edit. Is that in here somewhere? Bloody hell, it's quite impressive, but it's very okay. I can't see anything to add. Oh, players, it's on a separate tab. Search. Okay, so enter a username or registered email address. Would you rather give players a link? Yes. Much easier. Okay, try that.
Where's that in chat?
Yes, I've just popped it into the Deadlands Lost Colony chat, text chat.
I'm on it. Well, let's see. That's not going to work. Try again. Control. No. Copy link.
Fun and games.
Couldn't find the
404
page specified. Yeah.
That's not good. copy link.
See if there's any kind of public setting or something you need to set.
It blinked for a second and then it said 404.
Oh, hang on. Maybe I have to click save. Try now.
Better.
It says I'm not sharing an invite. It says
You have to be logged in. I'm logged.
right. Okay.
I'm joining the campaign.
Okay.
So am I.
Okay, maybe a bit
We'll
off
see
game.
what happens. Oh, there we
Excellent.
go. Me and Joe.
I'm going to change my name to Guacamole.
Sounds good to me.
See if I can. Here we go.
It looks like it looks like it looks like it's basically they're turning Savage into its own tabletop. I think.
Oh,
Sort of,
really?
but I've
That would
got
be
Beulah
unwise.
up there now. We need to get rid
That-
of that.
I don't think they should try.
No.
But whatever.
I'm still waiting to see if it's going to load for me because it's
You-
I gotta go in and change my default browser from Chrome because that's been a real pain in the
Okay,
ass.
so if I go into a private window, that means that it's not me, if that makes sense. It's interesting.
So on Savage, you have to confirm your email. If you just registered an account, you have to confirm your email before it'll show you books.
For some reason, I am not able.
Oh,
to
these
get
are my
into the
private
campaign.
settings?
I'm getting 404 myself now.
I'm in developing a character.
Okay.
Well, I already built mine on the table except for a couple of skills I can't decide on. Since nobody else is going with mechanic type, I decided to go with that since my portrait is a French Air Force mechanic.
That's so weird.
You're
'cause
French?
It's showing me no players in the campaign. I'm not complaining as long as it let you guys in. I don't care, but it's an interesting one. I know it's a beta.
Oh, is the beta out now, is it?
Okay, it's got me logged in.
So I had to go
I
it
think
showed me old it showed me old characters of mine to pick from. And then you go to new character and then you got to click Lost Colony again. And then it's been allowing me to start building the character.
Well, but it's that part of his campaign, though.
Yeah, because I did it through his campaign.
I can't find his campaign. I'm getting an error when I click his link, even though I'm logged
Don't worry
in.
about it. Don't worry about it. I've not tried it, and it is this is a beta version and all that. So don't worry about it. We'll just build your character for you.
Well, I've already got her almost built, except for a couple of skills.
No, I meant for Guacamole. If it isn't working, if that doesn't work, you just build it in the fancy grounds, and I'll.
Well, it's definitely working. It's definitely working a little bit because I can look up my character and it's shared with Savage Doswalk.
Sounds good
So
then.
it's definitely working a little bit. But that's your campaign. Oh, but then it also says I'm not part of any GM campaigns.
Yeah, this is it. I don't know what's going on. It shows me that it does show me that I've got the link there.
Maybe there's another step for the campaign to launch, because my character's definitely saved with you.
Yeah.
But maybe the campaign has not launched yet.
Maybe I just need to watch this campaign.
Created, updated, not shared. You were using one of 10 character save slots. Huh.
Yeah, so it might be one of you using beta and one of you using version 2 in it. So
no, I'm in beta 3 because that's all it offered. I mean, I didn't even know there was a difference. This website uses cookies. Excellent.
Chocolate cookie.
It is a bit, yeah. They do show.
Savage Doswalk. Yeah. Loading. Huh. Veteran wildcard. Savage Doswalk. Veteran wildcard.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in, but I can't find your campaign.
I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, you've got access to Savage US anyway, haven't you? Or do you
I
just
think
do
if you
fancy-
follow, if you paste that link after you're logged in, it'll probably show you his campaign.
That's probably, yeah, that might be the way it has to be. Yeah.
I was logged in and it just worked.
What is that link again? I'm sorry.
It's in the chat.
I don't see it in the chat. That's weird.
Oh, in the Discord chat?
I'll put it. Yeah, I can put it. I'll put it in that
For
chat as well.
Deadlands,
I forget.
for Deadlands Lost.
I forget you can do links in Fantasy Grounds nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's in Discord and now it's
No,
in
it
Fantasy
just
Grounds.
keeps giving me the error page.
Yeah, that's all I got. But I only got the error page when I wasn't logged in. When I followed, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Right, I'm still trying to decide about the grifter because I know how you. I do know in the original campaign you could travel between the three worlds and all that, but that was at the very end of doing a thing, and you had to do something very specific. And I'm just trying to work out how to get it. So let's have a read.
Yikes. Notifications. Shares. You have no shared items. He's not.
Easy to say no for now. Grifter front, sorry. I said I like the idea, but
I'll take a look at it later. See if I can't sort it out.
Already trying to break the campaign. Shame on you.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
So I wish I could find that character that I shared with you.
Oh, the character you shared with me. I know that will probably be you shared that on the sharing tab, I suspect, but I'm not sure.
It says I didn't share anything. I have no shared items. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can find it here.
I think it's very iffy at the moment, but it is a beta after all.
So something just happened and it blanked my thing. I'm gonna make it on my own, and then I'll just.
I will. Yeah, I mean, just don't worry about it. I mean, don't by all means create it in Fantasy Grounds anyway. It's much easier. If you haven't got access to Shabby, just do it at Fantasy Grounds, and we can sanity check it.
Maybe I need that link again. Data saves. Just a note. If you're using moved 1 of 10 character save slots. Okay, that sounds good. Shared non-human.
My character's called Himini.
Interesting, actually, because looking at Deadlands,
He's
the
an
Wild
Anouk.
Drifter, they are so based on the.
Which is these
You would be nobbling
dudes.
yourself, I think, quite a bit. Because
Here we
pictures?
go.
No, there's no fucking pictures.
Okay.
Let's go to the.
Okay, so if we do that,
much more powerful in Adventure Edition than they were before, and the Grifters are based on Hucksters.
Anooks.
Okay, and now I've got a page that's saying your username for invitation is user1319. Is there something I'm supposed to do from there?
Hang on, I'll try that.
I think you create a character.
What was that?
Create a
User
character.
1319 was that? Oh yeah, Jeanette, add to players. There you go. Oh, that works. So if you give me your usernames, it looks like that works.
264.
Yeah, 9683.
User 264.
You can change that name, by the way.
What? Sorry, was that 19?
9683.
9683. J.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, that's it. Yep. And you changed yours to guacamole, didn't you? You said.
I did. Yeah.
If that actually picks it up.
I didn't need user blah blah blah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
worked.
oh,
There you go.
now I'm set, but it's not showing me how to get from there to the campaign because
Hang on.
it's
If
You
I
need to
start-
use the link. You need to use the link in the chat.
Well, I'm just saving you as
Thank-
saved players. Let's see
What is transmute linked to?
Where's transmute?
It's a skill.
Transmute
Ooh.
links to smarts, which is your
But I'm concerned that that shouldn't be in there.
your breaker skill.
Oh, do breakers still transmute?
Yeah.
now it sent me back to the error page. Damn it!
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. That's why I'm back on. But
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
even
wait,
on.
now-
I'm not
okay,
even. You
now-
know what? I've
now
not
I
even
got
gone to
it,
Savage
because I've
US
got
because I don't need to.
Don't worry about
Fantasy
it.
Grounds does it all for you. That's the whole point of having it.
Yeah, Savage US just does the sanity checking for you, doesn't it? But I will do I'll create all your characters myself and sanity check them anyway. Oh yeah, transmute links to smarts and is the arcane skill for breakers. I didn't realize they didn't change it. I was being stupid.
and it's a knowledge skill, right?
Smarts. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I tell whether I have the Lost? I have the Lost Colony character sheet now. I wonder how I can tell whether I have access to the books. Because that was the whole point
I've
of
tried this,
doing
wasn't
this.
it? Yeah. What I need to do is I'd have to spin up another box. Ugh.
So if you click on if you go to the campaign and you click on your character sheet, off to the right, there's a list of all your characters. And then off to the right, there's an edit button, and you click on the edit button, and I'm now in the edit character, which is like the character sheet, only themed for the campaign that I'm in. So
I've
I
got
think
that.
that's the way to go.
You might well be that you still get nobbled because you're not a paying user, if that makes sense.
Novice human. But yeah, I just don't know.
Just do it, Fantasy Grounds. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh, it's now I've got a character sheet with Waif's picture. That's not cool.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Okay, so back to page 37.
Back up.
I will say if you play a grifter,
Copy.
I will say if you want to really play a grifter, because the rules for grifter are written for an older edition, you are nobbling yourself quite interestingly.
Settings. Currents. Active books. Select books. Just click the book selection to change your selection.
We're trying to make characters. I've already made my character. I'm ahead of the curve.
Okay, now it gave me the campaign page, and it shows me everybody you've got added so far. But when I click my character sheet, it doesn't give me the book so that I can, add to it.
You probably can't change the books.
Look at my toughness. I'm tough as
Hopefully the
fuck.
campaign is setting what the books are, if that makes sense. I'm suspecting I get to control what's there. The easiest way to do it is create when you go to the character. What edges do you see? Do you? I mean, for example, if you see, well, actually, go to races. If a look's an option under races, then it's loaded.
Oh, okay.
Click athletics.
Where do you see races? How do you check that?
Probably should be under when you're creating a character. Should be under concept. Then there should be a race tab. I suspect,
right.
but I am looking in version 2 there, not version 3. Let's have a look in version 3.
I'm looking at my character sheet. Languages known. Yeah.
Athletics to D8. Shooting to D6.
Let's see if I can kill that.
Already had shooting.
Oh yeah, races there. Yeah.
Shooting to D4. Right.
Campaigns.
Have we lost Rob? He's gone.
Invite link. Deadlands Lost Colony. That's good. Players. That's looking good.
That sounds like it might be working.
Well, yeah. I'm looking at the campaigns button, so it shows me your campaign, Deadlands Lost Colony. So that's good.
And then what are we doing? So is with gear and loadout, are we messing with any of that stuff? Or
Hello, hello, Mechanical
Well, you can buy your
Mechanical.
gear as normal.
campaigns.
You got $500.
Edit. Oh, here we go. Oh, somehow I ended up at a new page. Okay, so
I might buy a
now I've
cowboy
got
hat, but I've not decided yet.
character VTT token, character portrait,
They're actually credits.
edges. Now I see edges. Can I add an edge? What breaker? Does it have breaker? I don't see breaker under edges. Or
It'd be
what
under
would be a
arcane
good edge?
backgrounds.
Yeehaw! Yeah, it's
Arcane
cowboys in space,
resistance?
except I'm a
Should be under
No.
break it.
I'm an alien. But it'd be quite funny. I'm a purple-skinned alien
all of your traits and skills.
with a cowboy
If
hat.
you're
You
using
might as well, wouldn't it?
Savage, you got to have
Go
the
for it.
traits and because it won't let you take it unless you've got like the right
I'm one of these dudes.
smarts, and the dice have to be right.
Okay. Well, I'll work on the
With the
character.
cowboy hat
I'm
on.
starting with the character concept, so I'm going to try and use Savage.
Okay, so so the idea should be you go concept, and then you fill out the concept. Then you should have the race tab, so you can pick your race. Then you
Okay.
should have hindrances, so you can pick your hindrances. Then you set your traits, and then you set your edges. And under edges, what it will be is you'll have to go quite a way down the list, because basically it sorts edges per book. So Adventure Edition is first, and you have to go way down the list before
Happy
you
New Year,
see
Metallical.
Deadlands Lost Colony edges. That's what it is,
Happy New Day. He prefers
Oh,
Happy
okay.
New Day.
I suspect.
Let's see.
I'm going to get a drink back in
I
a
will
second.
try that.
Also, you could probably get away with typing.
Oh, I see Tannis Bomb. I see Tannis Bond. I see Tannis stuff. So that looks. Is that all?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So
Lost Colony.
Arcane Background Break. Yeah, that's all Lost Colony. So Arcane Background Breaker should be in there. Rob's gone very quiet. I'm paranoid now.
Arcane background Psyker. Yeah, it's in there. So I got it. This is awesome. Okay. Good.
If he wants to play a grifter, I can't see, and he can tell me how a grifter ended up in the future. I can't see a problem with that. I don't know where he's gone. Right. Let's have a look at. Oh my god! Really? You really have put that? Is that really going to be your background out of interest? Himiny.
What?
No, Himiny. That's quite an interesting meta cross thing I'm going to have to work in now. He currently says his arcane background is dreamed since he was a smaller nook of a purple-haired female telling him to go to the dojo and learn to fight.
So he's Neo?
Sounds like it.
Okay, I took the 3 hindrances on the Savage US thing. And then when I went ahead and adjusted my attributes accordingly, it's saying that I've got an error on that page.
That's probably because you've picked the hindrances, but you haven't selected the perks back on the hindrances page. So after you add some hindrances in, perks of it appear.
I already added my hindrances.
Right,
Yeah.
but then you got to add the perk points to add an edge.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a pull down, whatever you want to do, add edge or change attribute dice.
Gives you the extra points.
I'm going to be. My character is going to be female. I don't know why. It just feels like it's a female character. So I'm changing him to Linda. So now he's a she.
There's not a problem.
Okay. Linda. I got to change the text.
Who's here next week?
Oh, I know.
Which reminds me, actually, depending on how long depending how long this takes and everyone's happy and everything. If you're playing next Saturday, I can always spin up the other game so you can have a character.
What's next Saturday again? That's the.
World War II horror.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
That may or may not be. If it isn't officially Weird War 2, but in the end, it's so it isn't. Yes, it is. It's Weird Wars 2, but obviously it's the Sway version because Weird Wars 2 was deluxe, wasn't it? Actually, it might be Swex. This rate might have to create some more characters.
Hey, what were breakers called before the nanobots became?
Their official title was transmuters, but most people just called them mutes.
Transmuters. Okay.
Yeah. What else, Rob? Heard him in a while.
Okay, so far so good. I still just have I've got equipment and a couple of skills I need to decide on. I gotta find a way to import her portrait into it because it's actually in my Savage World stuff. I've got a generic portrait file on my computer, but I don't know how long it's going to take me to track that down because this one is actually loaded into my tabletop, so I was able to access it through your table.
Oh, you don't need to worry about putting it into Savaged. If it's on you, you know what I mean. Don't.
Yeah, it's on here.
I can't make an NPC thing, can I? By copying the text.
Oh.
Sorry, you can't make what?
So I'm gonna have to just doing it in Savage, like you know how like normal, like
Digits.
I'd look at the plain text and
Digits.
copy paste into an NPC maker and add the question mark.
Someone familiar for you.
Oh, I
I
know.
can't-
Yeah.
I can't do that, can I? I would have to do that in my own, I guess, right?
Inferior, yeah, I suppose that's going to be the only downside. I mean, there is meant to be. You are supposedly able to export it into Fancy Grounds, but all the links break.
Yeah, I've never been able to do that. That's never worked.
No, I have to be honest. I whenever obviously I still create all the characters in Savage when I'm creating the pre-gens because that way it means I know they're all legal, as it were, or unless I deliberately make them not legal, which I do sometimes, and then I just sit there and just copy. I literally then I'll rekey it into Fancy Grounds manually, which is
I know he's much better than me.
Yeah, so you could send me the text output. I don't know if I got NPC.
Hello, Mew Mew.
Yeah, you could send me the text file because I did actually load up SW Maker, so I could, in theory, can create an NPC from the text file, drag it to a PC, and then you can edit it. But you might find it's easy just to copy it, do it manually. It's up to you. I'm quite happy to do it if you want. Okay, so let's see what we got.
I just put it in chat.
Roger that. Very.
And I'll deal with the trappings. And then there was one item that I couldn't find. I'm assuming it's going to be in Fantasy Ground. So
hopefully,
the spectral dealio the breakers get.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't in Savage, but I'm sure it's going to be something I can add. and my math should be right. So it's $50, and I should, I've got that. So
Yep, that should be fine.
so do you want me to bone out this character then that I put in?
I'm just
So
seeing if I'm just seeing if I can.
Hello,
get this.
Fantasy Grounds
Obviously,
Academy.
I've got to
How are you?
God, they do make a mess. They do make a meal of things, don't they? Let's just see if it works. Breaker. It doubles up everything. Why does it double up everything? Okay, so that would go like that. Gear is just your palm quarter. Edges
and armor, but there are 2 items. That's easy. I can drag that shit.
Yeah, let's see what we get.
You want me to go to characters and look at it?
Hang on, let's make an NPC. Let's see what we get. Okay, and then I'll go to characters.
Don't be rude, he'll get upset.
There should be a Deckard. I don't know how much editing you'll have to do.
Still don't have a medic or no, somebody volunteered to be medic.
Cool. And then
I just deleted your other one.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah. Oh damn. Toggle wildcard. Phew. I was just thinking that's the only. I've got to make it a wildcard before I imported it to a character, but you should be okay. So you're okay.
Is it a wild card or not?
It is now.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah, look.
Savage US is working. This is great. Stepping me through the stuff.
It is good, isn't it? It's great.
Yeah.
Once you get it up and running, it's pretty.
Yeah, once you get it up and running, it's marvelous. It is marvelous. I must admit. Yeah, it's great for me as a GM because I basically when I'm just cranking out pre-gens for
Linda Carter.
Shots, I just use
one of the characters is called Linda Carter.
It does all the checking for me. I mean, creating characters in Savage Worlds isn't hard anyway. Don't get me wrong, but it just automates it so much easier.
Is it not showing? I can drop stuff and it's not going in. Oh shit! I know why. I did that when I was doing about me. It's got that images button that I never see. I typed images, hit images.
5 years since what landmark got shut down?
That's why I wasn't dragging. My bad.
That's okay. I'm still getting used to the new menu bar system.
What's a good edge for a healer, for a doctor?
Healing.
Well,
vengeful.
And healer.
Night terrors.
Healer is a good edge for a doctor.
Okay, yeah, I see it now.
You get a reroll.
Healer. Oh, is it a reroll? Yes, of course. Most of the +2s became rerolls, don't they?
Yep, that's good. That's what I'll do.
Just don't critically fail on the reroll.
I think you're going to be a mechanic.
I already took Elon to cover that. So.
Yeah, I'm going to be a mechanic. I already took the Mr. Fix-It Edge because if I can't fix it, it ain't broke.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite lines from one of my favorite movies.
Fuck.
Indeed. Well, I have to admit, all I'm going to think of now is because you're playing the mechanic is I'm just going to wait for you to say shiny. And engines talk to me.
No, I'm not delusional. That's not one of my hindrances. Mild-mannered. I'm playing somebody mild-mannered in this one.
Oh. I mean,
so I'm still not seeing this.
You're still not seeing
the spectral dealio.
It's probably not actually coded in because it's probably. I would say what you need to do is tell the person, whoever created this rule set, that they're a complete useless idiot and forgot to add it in.
Well, that's you, isn't it?
Yes.
I wouldn't say something.
What's your
like
point?
That.
He wouldn't say that. He wouldn't say that about someone else, would he?
I wouldn't say that.
Listen, you say these things, but Savage Worlds rule set doesn't have the hindrance and edge summaries that are in the books.
No, I know. Although, actually, in fact, it's interesting though because technically they are.
But
they're not listed the way they are in the book.
I just added at the bottom. You'll see it. The spectral imager.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
The
fine.
the info. No, in chat. I don't know how to. Do you want me to create it myself?
Oh, sorry,
or-
sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I take. Well, yeah, literally, you just put it in. You just. Oh, yeah, that's easy enough. You just create an item, don't you, and just pop in the ignore dim dark bit, don't you? Which I can never remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest at doing. That's why I was looking. That's why I posted it for you.
I can never remember how the ignore dim dark works now.
How much does the gyrojet cost?
Items, gyrojet. What, the IW91 gyrojet? It a gyrojet pistol or a gyrojet rifle?
I think I'll stick to the pistol right now. I probably don't have enough to get a rifle.
I think that's interesting. The rifle's 450 credits. The pistol's 600.
Huh.
However, yeah, obviously availability isn't affected at character creation, but pistols are rare and rifles are very rare. I'm gonna check.
What ammo do they take?
Gyrojets.
Yeah, they're basically gyrojets, rocket propelled bullets, aren't they?
Yeah, they're used in 0G because they don't have any kickback.
Yeah. Pistols.
But I think they're cool. I just like them.
Assault rifles, gyrojet. Yeah, I didn't get the prices the wrong way around. They match what they are in the book. Anyone remember the code for ignore dim dark? In Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah, it's ignore, hash dim, hash
ignore.
dark.
Okay,
Yes,
why
yeah.
does it show me a repair kit in Savage US but not in the tabletop?
Because it's an interesting one. The answer for that is I'm never entirely sure. Okay, so it is open square brackets, hash, ignore.
I don't think it's just hash ignore. I think it's just ignore and then
Hash dim,
hash dark, isn't it?
Hash dim, comma, hash dark. Close. And it costs.
Oh, they got
$15.
frag grenades here. I love those things.
Items. Kits. Let's have a look at kits. First aid kit, medic kit, toolkit. Deadlands Lost Colony toolkit. 200 credits. There you go.
Oh, okay.
So, Daz, you think that the reason it wasn't in Savage is because you didn't code it, or?
Probably, yeah.
Oh,
I tell you why. Because I can tell you why I didn't code it. It's because it's not an item listed under the equipment list, is it? It's literally listed under the arcane background, so I missed it.
well, and it's listed as the character thing that it uses. Like it's
Exactly.
in weird
Yeah.
places that I found it.
Exactly. Well, you've got one on your character sheet now.
Okay, cool. Oh, you added it to the sheet.
Yep.
Okay, and
gonna
then
give
does
myself
it
a
do
sling.
anything with the adding of the doesn't it add to the roll?
Yes, but it's one of these conditional ones, so it's not. It only adds.
So it won't be automated. It's something like when I'm using it for that condition, I type a 2 in the modifier box.
Exactly. When you use it, you try and blag
As a
blag a
native,
bonus
get a
off it for
grenade
using
just
your
to mess
spectral
these
imager.
twats up?
And if I'm feeling particularly nice, I say yes. You put it in and roll.
Beanbag.
I mean, you can automate it to a degree because all you have to do if you want is. It would be nice if you do subs. You can always create a second science skill if you wanted to with the +2 added in for your spectral imager. But personally, I'd just add the +2. And if you forget to add the +2, just remind
Frag
me.
grenade seems a bit
Right. Well,
not
it's
very
like
native,
science
doesn't
stuff,
it?
right?
I might pick one up later.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the decision on bringing in a grifter? I think you said no, but I got a phone call right about that time. So
Oh right, yeah, I was talking away and realised you weren't there. So, if you could explain to, I basically right at the end of the day, the grifter being coming from an older edition, you will be slightly underpowered compared to what you would be now, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Would be the first thing I'd
sure,
point out.
sure.
Because
I do.
because if you play it per the rules, it depends how nice I'm feeling. Because if you play it by the rules, you only get one power point every 3 hours. Instead. So see, this is where the problem comes in. I suppose we actually have to update the grifter to a huckster, but then this indulgence doesn't kick in. So you would be
If you
getting
get rid of shooting and
5
get
power points
survival
every 3
instead.
hours instead of 1 power point per hour. I won't be
Yeah,
as mean as
get
making you only
survival
get one.
instead.
All you got to do is explain to me how a grifter ended up on the Lost Colony, given that grifter. I mean, it's an interesting one. I know that.
Well, it's easy
Noir
enough.
came out after. Do you know what I mean? So justify to me how a grifter, how grifters or your grifter, survived through the depression or whichever setting, whichever the noir settings you were, got through the. Got through. I'm not necessarily talking about you, but how grifting survived. Got through. The future, and basically you ended up grifting. Ended up on Banshee. If you can do
Well,
that, I'll let you have it.
it's really easy. It's all with the same answer: voodoo. I got cursed by a Hugon, and he popped me through the Ghostlands, and I popped out here on Faraway much later.
Okay. So, are you going to give yourself the hindrance for technology or something then?
Well, I'm giving myself the clueless hindrance,
Okay.
and then I was also looking at taking the where'd it go? Come back here.
All thumbs.
Um, no, I was just going to take clueless because I mean I know how tech works mostly. I mean you pull the
Yeah,
trigger and
fair
it
enough.
shoots. So,
So, okay.
but I just don't know a lot about the area.
Okay. So then the last question, the very last question is: are you a Chicago grifter, a Shan Fam grifter, a Lost Angels grifter, or a City of Gloom grifter? So I'm just cheating. I've got the companion there, which of course doesn't.
And how do I add the arcane background to my?
Okay, now hopefully I've added them in. So if you go to powers button,
The powers button. Oh, on the right. Okay.
yep, which should be under characters.
It's
If you
not.
haven't edit under character, on the right hand side you've got library player.
The bottom
campaign.
tab, characters.
Oh, sorry. Do you mean in Savage US? Sorry.
Oh no, no. So I'm looking at my character sheet, and I'm done with Savage US.
Oh yeah,
I'm good.
okay. Yeah.
So,
So you've
and
got,
it's got the 3 powers that I picked, but it doesn't have the arcane background up above, so there are no PowerPoints showing.
okay, arcane back. Okay, that's what I was wondering. So the arcane backgrounds, although I thought I added them in, are missing.
There you are. They're added in. You can see them on the character sheet. On characters, powers, there's an arcane background button. You click it and they all pop up.
I'm seeing gifted, magic, miracle, silence, and weird science. I'm not seeing.
Okay, when I click it on the sheet, it gives me an option to click a new one.
Yeah.
You saw that, right? Are you looking at my sheet when I did it?
No, well, hang on a second.
Have you gone to the character menu, the one on the bottom, on the right hand side, character, and then go to powers?
Yeah.
And then click on arcane backgrounds on the powers window. And it pops up the 5 arcane backgrounds. Then you drag that onto your character sheet.
No. That's what I'm saying. The Deadlands ones aren't there. I thought I added them in. Oh no, I know what it's going to be.
Oh, they're all coming up with errors. You're a naughty boy.
Can you see them then?
I can see them. They're just coming up with errors.
I can actually see them. I can see them now.
They pop up and then it says error campaign script AB main That's pretty good of that.
That's interesting because I can't even see them. So,
But what I don't see is the ones I see the ones. Okay, so I see the
gifted
arcane
magic. Yeah, yeah.
backgrounds from Suede, but I do
Yeah.
not see them from Lost Colony.
No, well, they didn't exist because he went and. So what supposedly happened was Akil went when he changed how it all worked. He supposedly went through and added them all, except he didn't. Or if he did,
Like
they didn't say.
so for instance, when I click the green arcane background, it shows gifted magic, miracle, psionics, and weird science, but it
Yeah.
doesn't show the breaker one.
Yeah, no, I know it's missing. It's gone. It's gone walkabout.
So you're doing something right now. Okay, because I screw this up when I try to do it.
That's interesting. What? Okay.
And you know what's interesting about that spectral dealio is I noticed that it's under abilities automatically.
Yes,
It's-
because of the way it got imported from.
oh, the way it imported from me.
Yeah, the way basically the way it got converted from an NPC, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but it was never on as an NPC. That one wasn't on Savage US. I was never. So it must.
It was listed under special abilities in Savage US, so it got transferred as a special ability. Okay, that should do.
When I'm done, can I export this to Fantasy Grounds, or do I just need to copy it over manually?
You have a choice. You can either export it as if you just copy it as a text file, I can import it as and you pop it in chat, I can import it as an NPC and then convert it into a player character, or you can do what I usually do, which is just manually convert them, if that makes sense. Manually enter them. It's your
Yeah,
call.
one of the problems is though is under items, some of the stuff that is available on Savage US, I'm
Your
not
items won't come
seeing here.
across. Yeah, no,
Like
your items
the surplus fatigues and.
Okay, I'll just do it manually. It's no biggie.
Fatigue should exist.
Yeah, I've gone through it.
Yeah, surplus fatigues. I've just got them up. Lost Colony.
And then the backlash thing, you've got the table somewhere?
I hope so. Backlash. Yep. Oh, hang on. Dynamic. Is it dynamic backlash these days? I've forgotten. Backlash roll on the instability table. Yeah.
And I don't see the instability table under tables, but maybe it's something only you have.
It's a GM table.
Cool. No, I just wanted to make sure. Oh, lovely.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? A 3d6 blast template centered on yourself. Lovely. So there you go.
So you do the rolling. Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Well, apparently, yeah. I mean, I could quite happily share it and let you do it, but it's in the GM section.
No.
Did anyone decide? Did anyone want to take? Did anyone want to take Veteran of the Way Out West out of interest?
I thought about it, but no.
Let's start a season.
Okay, I can see the difference now. I wasn't looking in the module.
Oh yeah, the Veteran of the Way Out West. You start with a hindrance as well, don't you?
No, he gets to roll on a table. I think
you draw a card. You get to draw a card. Is how it works. Yeah.
And then you get 3 advances.
If you want him to play with your character.
Essentially.
Veteran of the Way Out West. Your spacer has fought pirates in the belt, dodged twisters and tornado alley, and scrapped with nooks in the cold. There's little in far away he hasn't faced down and lived to tell about. Your character starts at seasoned rank, which means you immediately start the game with 4 advances.
And then you get some side effect.
And then I basically deal a card. I deal a card, and we apply the effects of the card to you. But you do get 4 advances for free.
Yeah, and I don't know. When have you got to decide that? I've got to think about it while everyone else gets written up.
It's a character creation edge, so you have to take it now.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about it now.
When you have time, could I ask about taking skills?
Certainly. A quick aside: if you go into activation, you should find there's an extra rule book you can activate if you want. No one else needs it, but it should be there. Sorry. Skills? Yes. What's the question about skills?
I'm just going through skills on Savaged.
Yes.
And I don't really know what I'm doing since I'm not super familiar with
under traits. Yes.
But I'm just wondering how to choose. Like under smarts, it lists a bunch of skills, and then suddenly it says D8, and then it lists a bunch of other skills. But whenever I hit plus, it starts with a D4. Not even, I don't know what the D8 is about.
The D8 is it's basically D8 is you speak when speaking your native tongue.
That's just for English.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And what do I want to do with the skills? How valuable is it to bump up my skills?
Well, there are 2 trains of thought, and I've come across people who believe one. Some people will actually, at first level, scatterbomb and get as many skills as they can, but they're all at D4, going on the fact you always get to roll a D6 when you roll your D4 for your skills because you're a wild card, and a D4 is more likely to explode. Then a D4 is more likely to explode than any other dice roll. That said, of course, the odds are at the end of the day, you need to succeed in Savage Worlds before modifiers. You need to roll a 4. So 75% of the time, ignoring exploding dice for a second because they obviously. Well, actually, no, it doesn't matter, does it? 75% of the time, when you roll your 4-sided dice, you are not going to get a 4, so it's not going to explode. But you do still have the D6, which gives you a 50% chance of getting it. That said, other people have the idea that you've got an idea what your character would be, and you should just specialize in those skills so you're very good at them. I don't know what you want, I don't know which is true.
Okay.
By all means, ask the rest of the party what their views are. But I do know people who literally don't will always start with all their skills at D4 because it means
when you
most skills.
When you say my skill is at D4, but I roll a D6, but then I have a 7. Then I have a 7.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
You're a wild card. It's one of the perks of being a player character is you're known as a wild card. So when you when you roll any trait roll, traits being skills or
that's not in there at all.
Or your agility, your smarts, your spirit, your strength or vigor, you roll a wild dice. The wild dice is a 6-sided dice. You don't add the 2 together, but you'll roll your trait.
Oh, you add it.
You don't add them together.
It's like a sidecar.
Yeah, whichever one, after you've rolled them both, whichever one is highest, you take.
Got it.
However, if you roll snake eyes, you critically fail.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well,
and
that helps a lot.
The GM gets to smile evilly and do something unpleasant to you.
Okay. I mean, that part's not okay, but the rest is okay.
Is that bit about the veteran thing inside the player's reference manual? Because I can't see it.
It's an edge.
Oh, it's an edge. Right, okay, I'm looking in the wrong place.
There you are.
Okay, I'm down to just one more skill to pick, and then now, did we all have to have palm quarters? Because those things are pretty pricey. They eat up a lot of our money.
You don't necessarily have to start with them. You might want to buy one later on. You might find it useful.
What does the notice skill do? Like, why is that called out as a skill?
Well, basically, you start with some core skills. That basically in the latest edition, they've
Okay.
given the characters start with some core skills. So common athletics, common knowledge, notice, and persuasion are your core skill, and stealth. They're your core skills that everyone has at D4.
Okay.
Notice. Notice is perception. Notice is search. Notice is search as well. Notice is also the skill the GM will make you roll sometimes to make you paranoid. Because it's like everyone make a notice check.
Yeah,
okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Right, so I've got to give myself a cult, have I?
If you want to be a veteran of the way out west, yes.
Now, what weapons are we limited to?
Okay, I can do that. Skills.
I have to learn how to play Veterans of 1,000 Psychic Wars by Blue Oyster Cult. I don't know why that rule's in there, but it is. It's right
there. Your weapons, the limitation of weapons is what you can afford.
Okay.
Oh, Veteran of the Concrete Jungle. I just wondered what Noir was called. It was Veteran of the Concrete Jungle. Veteran of the Weird West.
Yeah, I decided to just go ahead and go with my pilot like I was first thinking.
Okay, I shall deactivate Noir then.
Edges.
If I do that.
Would have been, don't get me wrong, it would have been interesting, but it's probably safe to be the pilot. Pilots.
Hey,
and do
pilots are
there any edges that we particularly need, or anything that would be appropriate for a transmuter breaker dropout? I'm just asking if anybody's noticed, so I don't have to go through every single one.
Not bad.
Bloodthirsty.
That's a hindrance. That's a hindrance. Bloodthirsty.
Well, but you're ticked over the fact that you can't build things anymore, so now I kill everything. Damn it! Since I have to break things, I'm going to kill everything.
I think I probably need a few edges to go along with that one just to survive.
Hindrances. Did you pick your hindrances out of interest?
I did.
Did you spend your perks?
My perks? No, I spent it on add an edge, so now I'm at edges.
Okay, because you're allowed to have up to is it 4 perk points? Basically, you can have you can have as many hindrances as you like, but you can have up. Basically, majors give you 2 perk points, and minors give you 1 perk point, and you can gain up to a maximum of 4 perk points, as it were.
I've got 2 edge points if those are the same as perk points, so it looks like I can get 2 edges because I picked 2 minor hindrances. I think that's what happened. I think it was giving me 1 edge, and I hindranced up to 2 edges.
What hindrances did you take?
I picked heavy sleeper and 0G sickness.
Okay, 0G sickness is minor. Heavy sleeper.
They're both minor.
Okay, so what I'm saying is you can take 2 more minors or 1 major if you want to get an additional perk point, which gets you another edge or more skill points or another attribute.
I'm happy with the ones I picked. That's fine.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is to maximize your character, you can have.
Yeah.
You can but there's no reason you don't have to. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm not trying to min max. I'm just trying to roll. I'm just trying to create something interesting. I should min max.
If you want to, and loyal's always an interesting one because it basically means you're loyal to the party. That's not much.
Okay.
You know I'm just trying to think and give you some extra ones here. And what's another good minor one, guys? That's not too limiting or can have some interesting role playing. It can't swim, for example. I don't know.
Lion eyes can be an interesting one. You cannot tell lies.
Yeah, I took that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Stubborn can be fun if you don't. You never. Stubborn might fit in with your character. You're cold, bitter, and don't want to admit you're wrong.
Okay, that works.
Rebellious as one.
That one's easy. That one's easy.
You eat your anger.
That
Got
one's
a
easy
bot
for me to
spamming
roleplay
me on
too.
YouTube.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, if you end up with 4 minus hindrance, what you should now notice is, you should now have another 2 perk points, which means you can now spend that to have an additional edge, or if you want, you can actually spend it, for example, to increase one of your agility, smart, spirit, or strength for another die if you want, or you can spend each one of those to gain 2 more skill points. I'm just trying to
raise an attribute. I'll raise an attribute. That sounds like a good one.
So that's your agility, your smarts, your spirit, your strength, or your vigor, you see.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Do we have anybody that took the tail-tailing edge?
Sorry.
Did anybody take the tail-tailing edge?
That is quite a useful one.
Yep.
Veteran of the Way Out West.
I might take that one instead of Elon.
Tail-telling. I'm just getting the edges now again.
Do you know what? I'm going to do this.
A very good edge to have.
What does tail-telling do?
So there's a mechanic in all the Deadlands games called fear level. Basically, the spirits feed off of fear.
And this is a fear-based setting, according to the player's guide.
And if you, at the end of the session, the GM can call and say, if you want to spread the word about your victory, then you can lower the fear level in the area, which makes the baddies have less power.
Do you get conviction out of it these days? I can't remember, because it used to be you used to get the gold fate chip, didn't you?
You know what? I just talked myself into taking it. I'm going to take it.
I can't take it because I don't have persuasion at level 8.
Oh, there we go. So it's a good job.
So I'm out. Bummer. You get me all excited and then pull the rug out from under me.
I've taken that edge, Kevin.
I know. I'm just.
Did you take tail-tailing?
No. He's taken veteran of the.
He did.
So I am. I thought I'd do. I'd have some fun. Can you believe I cannot find a deck of cards? Oh, there's my action deck. It's my actual suede action deck. Never been used since, because I got the set and obviously lockdown happened. And
oh yeah, there's where the goes.
Got a deck of cards that has. I'm going to have to roll on the table. I didn't want to roll on the table because I think the table will display everything, and I wanted to keep it secret. Oh, hang on! I know where there's a card. Oh, mind you, if I do it, I can do it on the combat tracker, because if I do it on the
combat tracker would do it, wouldn't it?
I could do it on the combat tracker.
That is one action with an action card of 5 or less.
Okay. Jack of Hearts.
What's the deal with calculating? Is that any good? That's a weird description. Ignore up to 2 points of penalties on one action with an action card of 5 or less.
Yes.
Basically, if you end up going slow, you can multi-action without as much penalty.
Oh, yeah. Is that good then? Is that
if you got more time to make your action? Basically, if you're like low in the combat tracker, you're not wasting time. You're thinking about it, and you get an advantage when it comes to your go.
Oh, that could be good for her. That's kind of her. Could be kind of her role, the way she rolls.
What's the hindrance that means you have to take the worst of 2 cards?
Hesitant.
So then you see, this is where the bit of power game comes in. There is a hindrance called hesitant, where you have to take the worst of 2 cards. So it then means you're more likely to get a card of 5 or less, and it's perfectly legal character build.
Oh, okay. Now you're talking. Now maybe I want a min-max. What was that called again?
Hesitant.
Let me see if I can get
You're
back to
hesitant and
hindrances.
calculating. See,
Yeah, it's
yeah, they play together, don't they? Yeah.
They do.
Okay, I'm willing to try
So
that. That sounds
hesitance
good.
and minus edge. You hesitate in stressful situations. You draw 2 action cards in combat and act on the lowest one. If you draw a joker, you use it normally and ignore the hindrance for the round. Hence, this being a minor hindrance, it actually increases your chance of drawing a joker. That's the other thing to bear in mind. You are, because although you have to act worse most of the time, you are getting 2 cards, which means you are every round you're getting an extra chance of getting a joker.
If my character was designing herself, she would choose that for sure.
Okay.
That's the kind of character she is.
Oh, okay. So, Himini, I know you said it as a loan, and I think it's a perfect example. At the moment, you've got the jack. If you want to, because you got that Benny for making me laugh earlier. If you want to spend that Benny, I will deal a second card, and you can. I'm not telling you what the cards are. You get to. I'll let you choose which card you have.
Go on in there, spend a Benny on a, and then I'll choose. I don't know how it works at all, but
Exactly. Okay, so the second card.
Right, okay, I'll have the Joker. Yeah. I mean, I'll have the Jack of Hearts. Yeah.
Actual fact, the suit doesn't matter. It is down to the card.
Oh, okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a chicken bite. Okay, I'll have the red one.
And I won't say that. I won't necessarily say. I won't, for the record. The only way you don't come off badly is
with a joker.
Well, actually, it's debatable. I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah, I'll have the Jack of Hearts. Okay.
The Jack of Hearts isn't necessarily worse than the 3 of clubs for the record, but it's up to you.
It's not necessarily worse.
What I'm trying to say is what. No, the 3 might
Okay,
not be as
all right.
bad.
Which should I
Jack.
take? Jack of Hearts or 3 of
trying
clubs?
to make you take 3.
Hang on, I'm just debating.
Where is all this card stuff happening? I don't see anything.
Up to you.
Don't worry, I'm using the combat. I've just dealt out 2 cards because he's taken an edge where I deal cards and it decides what happened. Okay. You see, so don't worry.
While he thinks, can I ask a question about the hindrances?
Of course you can.
I added
Metallical, whoever's
minor hindrance,
Jack
which
Hearts,
obviously is a cool idea.
Which one?
Yes.
But it doesn't seem to have given me any perks. So do you get a max of 4 perks? You only have a maximum
of 4 perks, yeah. So, but
okay.
There's no. If you want to have 5 hindrances, or just lose one of the other ones.
Jack, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah, there is a limit.
Jack just walked past the door.
That's fine.
You can have it. There is
Jack
no limit on how many hindrances you can take.
Okay.
Because obviously hindrances give you chances to role play and all that sort of stuff, and role playing your hindrances, unless obviously they've got some more game mechanics behind them, is a good way for the GM to award you for actually nobbling yourself through role playing, if that makes sense.
I don't want to have to role play too much. So maybe I should drop a hindrance or just leave them because they're all fine.
As I say, if you want to have 5 hindrances, by all means, you are just taking an extra. I mean, from a min-maxing perspective, you've taken an extra hindrance for no benefit. Mm-hmm. But from a role-playing thing, obviously, you're more screwed up than.
Yeah, got it. Okay. I think I might leave it. Maybe I'll come back to it. Doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay.
So far, it's good.
Whoops.
Okay. Let's see
sure. What?
Don't forget it's me.
Do you have bennies to use in
I'll take
session 0?
Yes.
Because maybe he wants to use a Benny right now.
Well, no, he did. He
did.
He did get a Benny. That's why he's got a choice of 2 cards.
Okay, that was smart.
But when he says sure, I'm thinking, oh no, he's seen the Jack and now he's saying get the 3 of clubs, and it's like, yeah, I don't know if he's being mean or not. He's trying to guide me in the wrong direction or the right direction. Oh, go on, I'll just take the Jack. Yeah.
Okay. For the record, the 3 was better.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, I'll take the Jack.
Okay, so basically the 3 is just a sort of role-playing background effect. The Jack I'm deliberately not going to say anything to anyone else. The jack means
Oh.
I actually modify your character.
Okay, well, as long as you give me my advances, I don't care.
Well, yep. So you are seasoned. There you go.
How
However,
good is? Oh,
sorry,
Now,
there we
what
go.
are you modifying?
You want to go to your main tab.
bummer. I keep trying to take edges that I'm not allowed to take.
Ah, there's a ghost typing on my character sheet.
Okay, so basically, you can work out. Basically, well, you can see what I've done there. So if you can work out. It's up to you. Other you can work out if you want to, or I can work out why that
What the
actual-
incident was, yeah.
Yes, yeah. The three basically. Three is basically there's someone out there hunting for you.
No, so you could just send like a dragon after me at some point if you wanted to, yeah.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I could have been really evil about it, but it didn't nobble your character. I would say basically the I wouldn't even necessarily basically if you get a joker, your character died.
Oh, you've turned off the advances planner. Well, you haven't turned it on.
I haven't turned it on. Hang on a second then. Sorry, let's turn on the advances planner, which is under. I forget you have to turn it on. No, a show planning section is on.
Well, it's not on mine. It just shows advances and nothing else.
I can see your plan advances on your character sheet.
I can't. Let me close it and open it up again. No, it just says advances and starting and nothing else.
You can't. I can see your plan advance. Maybe you have to turn it on.
Ah, that would explain it, yes.
Okay, so everyone go to options. Scroll down till you can find under options. There's a section called character advances tab. And if you've got, I don't know if
Boom.
you've got something.
Yeah, you've got to set it to show, yeah.
Okay. There's an option there to show the planning section. If you turn that on, you don't have, if you turn that on, you can plan your character in advance. And if you put edges in there, because that's what you want to do as you level up, when you next get an advance, the Fantasy Grounds will level up and add that to your character sheet automatically. You don't have to use it, but it's there if you want to use it, but you have to turn it on as a player.
Could you say, I'm in the options now. Could you tell me where to go again?
If you scroll down, there's a long list. One of the sections should be
Character advances
tab.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, there's an option to turn on the planning section. It's recommended you don't need to turn on the XP section because you don't get XP in Adventure Edition. It just means you can plan your character advances if you want to. If you don't want to, you just turn it off. It's not the end of the world.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Got it. Okay. Oh. How good is
Oh, I see. Sweeps. I need to increase something else.
what does the research roll when you roll for research in game?
That used to be investigation.
Because there's an edge called investigator.
Yeah.
It gives you +2 to research and notice. Oh, certain types of notice rolls. Okay, I'm still trying to choose edges.
That's fine.
So.
You're an archaeologist, aren't you?
Yep. So research sounds good.
Research would make sense.
Yeah. Investigator, but it sounded more like a detective thing.
It is historically.
So I did just upload the portrait and the token.
Okay. Portrait you should be able to do yourself, but I'm quite happy to do it.
So what do I want to do
Is
next?
that I've never been able to add any kind of image.
There are a lot of edges. Ooh. Creating devices from scraps. Huh. MacGyver would be useful in this setting. Oh, I can't. It keeps vetoing my choices.
So in order to take that four advanced thing, you'd have to like take 2 more edges, wouldn't you? Or 2 more hindrances, wouldn't you?
No.
No, it's just Veteran of the Way Out West is an edge you take during character creation. The only requirements are you're a novice character because you're creating character, and you've got D6 in the occult skill. That's the only requirements to take Veteran of the Way Out West.
Yeah. Forget it. I don't have it.
I'll just share it out so other people can see it.
Yep.
Does start you as seasoned when everyone else is novice. Makes you very powerful compared to the rest of the party.
Seasons is necessary is a prerequisite for a lot of the edges. I'm discovering.
You're really pushing this though, so that's a little frightening.
Oh, it's
Well-
a really fun edge. It really is.
Oh, what is this?
Oh yeah, don't forget. But it is basically, you know how in the travel. I've never actually played Traveller, but you know how in Traveller you could spend ages creating your character and then die halfway through character creation. It adds background and history to your character. There is consequences. Your character has been around for a while. Things have happened, and the best you can hope, the best role, so you don't end up with any negativity at all, is you died.
It's a good way to start.
I mean, when I'm saying that is your character died, and then basically you're going to be a guardian, or you come back as a guardian, or you come back as Harrod. That's the best you're going to get. Everything else will affect your character, but not in an interesting way. Do you know what I mean? There will be there's a story
so it's
behind it.
is it a D6 or a D8?
Well, in a
Right, let's go
cult,
back to
D6.
advances. Strength, that's 1 dice. I've got a sweep.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a price to pay, but they're not really mean. As I say, the best result is you're dead.
Then you come back as a guardian.
Or
Dagnabbit,
Harrod.
you convinced me.
Okay.
All right, let me adjust my character because I got to take a cult.
See what I did there?
You conned someone else into taking it. I'm very impressed. Oh, how do you? I should have done it as an image. Let's go back. Copy that.
Seasoned, right. So I'm going to make
images, tokens.
ding ding.
There we go. And I need to drop an edge. I'll drop Telltale for now.
Well, you can take it as one of your advances, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. So actually, you net out. There's a net loss there of 1 edge.
You're taking 1 edge to give you. Well, it's
you can pick another edge up. I've already got the edge that I removed back. First thing I did. I think I'm done. Yeah, I've got my advances done. Boom.
Yeah, because if you got the hard way, you're 1 edge ahead, or actually 2 points ahead.
And if I get, and then the token, or it doesn't matter. I just the round seems to be a little bit better because then it, like with templates and stuff, like it doesn't get caught on corners if you're avoiding.
Yeah. But I was looking. I know what you mean, but actually, the rule set seems to be defaulting to squares anyway for some strange reason. But Yeah.
Oh, I thought tokens were always supposed to be round. My bad.
No, it depends the rule set. I'm just going to check. Images. Oh, there's the faraway system map. Let's just drop Himini on it.
Which just picks whatever
yeah.
you put for your portrait, unless you put in a separate token, doesn't it?
Yeah, I will have to. Yeah.
That's why I included the round one and the square
Yeah.
one.
No, I know. It's just I can't work out how you get. I don't work out the easy way to get images into Unity. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it was before, where you could just copy them into a folder and double click on it.
So what I do is I draw. You got to go to like the folder for images, and then for like I have a folder in images in token that's like my tokens, and that's where I drop like all the tokens, and then you just reload that in the asset with the reload thing.
Yeah, that's about the best way I've found. But then obviously you've got that's about.
And then you have to drag it. I've never been able to get the players to be able to get that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Saving the image. Oh, there we go. That works. And then I need to.
Right. New edge, increase the skill.
Deadlands Lost Colony tokens. I can't save. I might try and make round tokens for all the portraits at a later date. Then I have to go back into assets, into campaign, do a refresh, Deckard, then
I gained a new edge.
There he is.
Is that the right way round? I never remember. Oh, that's the portrait. That's the token. So if I take you out,
yes, it is.
If I take you
Let's
out the
go
party
D6.
sheet and then add you back in, yeah, you still get. Oh, that's it. Okay, it's just on the party sheet. It shows that. But if I take you and add you to the combat tracker, it gives you the round token. That's what I want. Okay, who else decided to?
That's the doc, the good doctor.
It's a good doc.
See, you hear that? There you go.
Sorry, I don't know what came over me there.
Okay, he got something really evil and he's about to lay it on you.
Okay, let's deal a card. Okay, you got the 4 of Hearts.
Okay.
Spend a Benny.
He hasn't. I'll tell you what. I will give it. Yeah, I will. Wow, he did. Hang on, let's have a look. Okay. Okay.
Want that Joker?
Come on then. I'll give you. I'll be nice and give you a second card as well, because it's more fun that way. Okay. Oh shoot.
What was that? Something of spades? 3 of spades?
10 of spades.
Is that what that was? 10 of spades.
So is there a reason why the spectral imager does a -4?
I have no idea.
You see that, right?
Like you.
Doesn't like you. That doesn't make any sense. Inventory, spectral imager, ignoring dim or dark. Shouldn't be doing anything. Oh, hang on.
You're not supposed to wear it when it's not dim or dark? Maybe that's it?
I think that's fixed. I think that's fixed it, hasn't it? No.
Is it a decent copy?
I have no idea where you're getting that.
Yeah, I looked.
-4
All the
from.
decent copies I've seen are shit. We'll see. You'll find out.
Skill question when you have a chance.
Certainly.
What's the difference between not having a skill and having a skill at D4?
-2.
Okay, so if I unequip it, it takes it off.
Unskilled is D4 -2.
Ah, okay, that's a big difference. Okay, thank you. I have another question. I have 2 edges. Calculating is pretty much built into the character now, so I really have 1 edge. And I have that weird background of breaker dropout. So I've rejigged my skills so that that is an option for an edge, but I was going to take the scholar edge. Since I'm not really a breaker, do I need to take the arcane background breaker, or what do you
If you
suggest
don't,
between
if you
scholar and
don't,
breaker?
if you don't take the arcane background breaker edge, you
Mhm.
don't have the arcane background, and you don't have the
Don't do the
nanites.
powers.
Okay, so I should probably take that instead of the scholar, just to have the option.
Yeah, I mean, you can always take scholar as your first advance. So I don't know why, but the ignore dim dark was what was breaking it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't even want to
That's
make you
one.
take the
No.
10. So
Yeah, that's
okay.
one advance.
This
That's another
was.
advance. That's another advance. Another advance. Right. Boom. Done.
Well, actually, no, that's not strictly true. I can't. Actually, no, I was misreading it. It's not the one I thought it was. Yeah, sorry, it's not the one where it's -2 on all your soak rolls. So you're okay. I was misreading the table. So
Oh, that's
you
pretty
can have
brutal.
you can either have, because you're marked for death. You can either have the 4. You need a slash rather than a dot. You can either have the suit doesn't matter on the way out west. So you can either have the 4, or you can have the 10.
I got lucky there because
It's
you
your
can
choice.
lose a limb,
Which one better
or
fits
have
in
insanity or
with the
worse.
character?
So what I got was pretty good.
That's an interesting question.
Good call. Jack was calling me.
So basically, what I'm thinking is that he worked for Hellstrom and he was asked to do experiments on the
Chicken men.
Anooks.
And the chicken men said
Okay,
no.
4
And he
was
told him to sod off. And it got him in a lot of trouble. And he's kind of on the lam since then.
I'm going to borrow. Who's Doc? Doc is. I've lost the card. I've got too many tabs open. Characters. Doc is pants. Not saying his character is. Okay.
What is our gear situation? Do we need to select all our gear, or I guess
Yeah, you got $500 to start off with, and you can pick your stuff.
so? We need to purchase stuff. Not seeing what you're looking for. All I see are grappling hooks, cannons, and quiver. Deadlands. Here we go. This is probably better. Oh, much better. Okay. Lost colony.
I changed my portrait since I was the only one that had a real human portrait on there. So
Okay.
Sorry if there was anyone asking questions while we were away. How are you doing now?
I'm done. My
What
character's
was that? A
advances are
little
all done.
private conversation there?
I don't know what you mean. Yes.
Yep. He was
Oh,
trying to
really?
convince me not to take the area effect damage on friendlies effect. So
Mm.
I really wouldn't worry about it. I'm sure in no way, shape, or form your horribly mutilated, dying bodies will be in any way, shape, or form any form of concern for the dog.
I hate to ask something mundane, but am I supposed to buy clothing like jeans and a shirt? Since it's on the equipment list?
Generally.
It
let
really
me get this
depends
straight.
what your feeling on nudity
Wow.
is, really.
Okay.
Let me get this straight. I have
Modesty
to
is one
eat a
of
part of them to heal them. Is that right?
modesty is
Yeah, I
part of
afraid
our
so.
hindrances.
Yeah. Cannibalism. Yeah. Actually, those pink circles you replied to, is that a Forge Edge, the ammo extension, or is it?
Yeah, it is.
I might add that one in because that would be useful, wouldn't it?
What does it do?
It just keeps
It's an
track of your ammo for you and
Yeah.
reloads it.
Basically, it's an extension that when you add it in, you type what the ammo. There's an entry you can put onto each weapon that you say this is what your ammo is, and then on the combat tracker there'll be an extra icon, and when you reload your gun, it will automatically take the correct amount of ammo off your character sheet. Apparently,
Yeah, no, I mean I saw it from in the discussion, but I didn't know what it was.
yeah. And I loaded in the really nice looking height thing, but some people are saying it doesn't work in chases. So I'm going to have to play with that now. Because that'll be annoying if it breaks chases, because that height extension looks really nice. It factors in the fact that someone's 10 inches above you, and that means although they're next to you but 10 inches above you, when you target them, it counts it as a 10-inch range like it should do.
Yeah, when it works in 5e, it works great. It
Yeah.
just sometimes doesn't work.
Swore.
So I loaded it in to try. So I mean, it's great for Pathfinder because there aren't any chases in Pathfinder yet.
Hey, I worked hard on that. I'm running one. I'm running one in a couple hours, actually.
What time? How many hours?
We start at 1:00, which is 5 hours from now?
I might gate crash if I may. Just have a look.
Absolutely, anytime.
Just to see you running it, if that makes sense, because that would be nice.
So you're going to stream it?
No, I won't stream it.
No, is anyone going to stream it?
I don't know. I don't know how to stream.
Oh, it takes about 30 seconds to figure that out.
Yep, I see that, Doc. Okay, that sounds like fun.
I'm gonna have to figure it out by next week because apparently I've got to stream my daughter's volleyball because of the Rona. But I've been looking into that OBS, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, don't get the other one. Just get OBS Studio.
Don't get the one I use that basically lets me stream to multiple sources at once because I gave them some money and they bloody auto renewed it when I wasn't going to do it anymore. So
I thought OBS was free.
Yeah, it is.
OBS is free. Streamlabs, I obviously had some premium subscription that I forgot about, and they went and renewed it. So I'm going to have to.
Yeah, there's a big scandal about that. They've basically been scamming people for years using free software and sticking their name on top of it and then charging for it.
Ugh.
That's not good. Hey, do you mind if I crash as well?
I got to get the right cord. I'm assuming OBS works okay. It looks like they've got a build for Mac.
Can I crash the 5e game as well? Is that possible?
Well, I'm not. It's not 5e. It's Savage Pathfinder. It's Rise of the Rune Lords. I'm just throwing in a chase because
he's throwing in a chase because he's worked out how to use the chase, the Savage Pathfinder chase system in Fantasy Grounds, and I haven't seen him use. We tried one variation which worked, but was a bit cumbersome. So I'm curious to see how he's done it because we've got to work out a way to do it if we want to support it.
Yeah, no, I think this will do. You just got to get the buy-in from the players to pay attention, right? So
I need to figure out how to do that too if I'm going to run my supers game. There's a lot of chases in supers.
Oh, chases in supers is different. So you find there Fancy Ground supports standard chases, unless they've gone and changed the rules in supers as well. It's just Pathfinder uses a deck of cards for chases, a specific deck of cards. Whereas
Okay.
Savage World standard chases are supported in Fantasy Grounds, and in fact, I'll be there. There's going to be a chase next Saturday, not a linear chase though. So, but that's fine.
I have a session 0 question.
Yes.
On Savaged, I've gotten through everything through gear and I'm up to powers.
Yes.
Do I need to select a power, or is that
You
just
do want to
something?
pick you do want to, if you've taken the arcane background, you've taken an arcane background, so you have the
Yes.
powers tab. So yes, you need to pick your 3 powers.
My 3 powers.
Mm.
And all of these would be specials from Lost Colony? Is that what would happen?
No, basically it should. When you go to select a power,
it offers me a long list, but it offers
most of
me
them
like
are not most of them will be not applicable.
that's what I thought. So it's just looking at the 7 from Lost Colony.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And those are powers I get because of the breaker ability?
Yes.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, I have to read up.
Yeah, they're basically. I mean, it's basically they're the magic spells your nanites let you do. In simple terms, obviously the trapping is. I mean, they basically powers are Savage World's version of spells, but
okay.
But in Deadlands Lost Colony, it's your nanites. Basically, you send out a stream of nanites, and they cause the effect. So I think Bolt's one of the ones you can do, isn't it? So basically, yeah, Bolt is one of the ones you can do. So for example, the trapping, the trapping of Bolt is you basically release a bunch of nanites. They fly towards your target and start dismantling him.
Oh,
causing damage. And things like that, and you see like that. Whereas, the way Savage Worlds work, unlike D&D, where you've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of spells, there's a core list of powers, and then you apply descriptive trappings to them. So a druid may basically, when a druid casts Bolt, they may basically unleash a swarm of bees. When a wizard casts Bolt, it's called Magic Missile or Flaming Arrow or Lightning Bolt. You know what I mean? So it's always the same powers, but it's just you just use trappings to make them distinctive, as it were. So
to dress them up.
Exactly. So basically, when you come up with your powers, you pick your powers, and then you have a think about how the nanites do it. So I mean, they literally could just be dismantling the guy, or maybe as the nanites fly through the air, they literally draw energy out. They break down the molecules of the atmosphere as they're going to form a solid object to impale someone. It's up to you how it works.
So Oprah Winfrey's a druid? Just releasing bees?
But yeah, so that's how it works. So you get 3 powers.
Okay, well, I've never done Savage Worlds Magic before.
It is relatively straightforward. You're going to have 10 power points, and your powers will have a cost. And when you want to cast a spell, you're going to make your transmute roll and spend some power points. Simple as that. And then you can bolt on bits, but we'll worry about that when the time comes.
And
So-
yeah, I mean, you just make the roll from the left and do the damage on the right.
So I'm seeing available powers: blast, blind, bolt, burst, confusion, damage field, deflection, dispel, ghost in the machine, havoc, haywire. I need to look up a ghost in the machine and a few of those other ones. But it also mentions channeling, new powers, power points, power surge, and rapid recharge. Are those also powers? They're not. They're
No,
listed
they're
under.
edges.
Oh,
They're edges.
those are edges. Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, Ghost in the Machine you don't need to worry about because you're not veteran for now.
Okay, good.
Okay, so Haywire Haywa is you release a bot swarm that sabotages all mechanical and electronic devices in a particular area. Sorry. So you basically place down. What's the radius? What's the diameter?
And
of each
I
pistol?
took that one. It's a
Okay.
blast template.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just
Where
thinking
are
if
you
don't roll it was-
seeing? Oh, I see it.
So-
New breaker power. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't
Ghost in
necessarily
the
need to worry
Machine.
about that one.
Oh, those are the only two that seem special to this
Then
setting.
yeah, you get these standard generic ones. So if you're just ask about the others, well, let's have a look at the others. So
Well, I'm kind of wondering. I'm kind of wondering if there's anything specific. One way to choose would be: is there anything particularly useful to an archaeologist, like to dig things out
Well, ironically,
or
no.
to
That's
detect things?
ironically no. That's the thing, because that was the thing. When you were, like we were saying, when you were basically what's happened is it's an interesting one. It's the one change they made from the, because these books are the new version of classic Deadlands, as they call them, and in the classic version of Deadlands Lost Colony, you were transmuters. You had the nanites, and you could create things. And you guys were the repair guys, and you literally had little nanites that would break down matter and build things and repair things, and you kept the whole planet running.
Oh,
And then
so that was the actual setting from the earlier version. That was an actual
yes,
setting, not just history. Oh, I didn't realize that.
that's
That's
the
funny.
actual setting for the earlier version.
That's funny.
But
Okay.
yeah, but then after that version ended, and before the newer version came out, they added in what happened, because these all the later versions are set about a decade after the original books. So that's the thing, you see. You possibly had gone to become a transmuter because it would have been helpful being an archaeologist. But now, of course, you basically were the last class to graduate, and before you even got to experience it, from what you were saying from the idea earlier, the virus has hit and changed you from a transmuter able to create material to a breaker that all you can do is destroy. So as an archaeologist, it's useless, which makes sense
Well, I
why
don't
you.
think it may allow me to dig things out, like because archaeologists are often trying to.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it isn't necessarily. But the only thing I would say is yes, potentially, but unfortunately, they tend to be. If you look at the base descriptions of them, blast and burst, they tend to be violent excavations, which doesn't necessarily conducive to digging for archaeology, does it? I'm not saying you haven't used them in that case. Don't get me wrong.
It says I have no. Oh, okay. I'll just go through them and look at the descriptions and pick 3.
I would say that. Well, I want to call her Jelsa, but Morgana. I think no. Is it Morgana? Oh, Elspeth, you're Morgana, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, I'm Linda.
No. I know you're Linda, but I'm just saying Elspeth's gnome character in Pathfinder would tell you how much fun you can have with Havoc.
Oh yeah,
with Havoc.
but I'm a gnome, and that's the perfect spell for gnomes.
Okay, I'm gonna look them all up and see what seems to work.
Okay.
Well, basically, if you succeed at it, everybody that you hit, if you're not hitting your own party, starts with distracted. If you
-2 on all their rolls,
and -2 on all their rolls.
Oh, that sounds powerful.
Plus, you can throw them back. It's like Jelsa's Havoc spell is basically a glitter whirlwind, and the wind blows them back. If you succeed with a raise, then they've got minuses, and they have to make a strength check to see if they get thrown back or not. And if they do get thrown back, then they can take damage, and it can be all kinds of fun. And it's like the perfect spell for a gnome, because gnomes are just like little troublemakers.
I never remember which way round it goes. Which one's the blast template, and which one's is blast now the blast template and burst now the flame template? They finally sort it out.
I don't remember, but I know that on Havoc you can choose either or, and she always uses like the round template.
Yeah, no, I was looking through the rest of the list. So from your perspective, I think blast anyway season, so you can't have it.
Yeah, blast, and I'm looking at object. I'm looking at object reading, and it says seasoned, so I can't have that one.
No, you can't have that one. So Blind, you can have, as you can imagine, that's basically you. Blind is basically you affect people's sight, so they can't see. Bolt is basically a ranged attack spell. If you in D&D terms, it's magic missile or flaming arrow, as it were.
Okay.
Burst is you produce a large fan of energy. So basically, you put the flame. There's a cone template, which basically I'm not sure what the length of it is. It's probably about 4 or 5 inches. There's basically a flamer template. You basically fan out a load of damage in front of you.
Okay.
That's burst. Confusion, literally. Well, actually, I'm not sure how it would work in nanites, but confusion. You basically confound a target, making them distracted and vulnerable. So they're -2 on all their rolls, and everyone else gets +2 to hurt them if they fail a smarts check. And obviously, some of these you can expand them to make them more effective. So that one's messing with people's minds and stuff like that. Damage field, I don't think you can do at novice, but basically the nanites will sort of sit around you and attack anyone who comes too near you, as it were. Deflection is basically your own personal force field. Dispel, that's an interesting one. You don't get that at novice, I don't think, so I wouldn't worry about that one. That will literally turn off other people's effects. Ghost in the machine we just talked about, but you can't have anyway. Havoc is the one we just talked about, where you literally throw people around and they bounce off things and take damage. Haywire is obviously the one that gets into electronics and machinery. Object reading, as you said, worked out you can't have. And stun, stun is basically concussive force or something that literally stuns them, so they've got to make a vigor check or be stunned, and stunned is quite a nasty effect. It can take quite some time, depending on how well they roll. They could be they could be affected for quite some time. So that's pretty
Okay.
crash course in all the powers.
Okay. Thank you.
That's okay.
Yeah, I took them all, and then I'll filter out the ones that are, because it lets you take them all even though you're way beyond your thing. Ghost in the Machine is veteran. Is veteran even harder than seasoned, or?
Yes. How does it go?
Okay.
I never remember. What's the exactly?
Novice,
novice,
seasoned, veteran, heroic, legendary.
Yeah, I always get
okay.
heroics and veterans muddled up.
And if you play Savage Mojo, you can get demigod in some of their stuff.
That's 120 XP, which of course doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how
Negates magical effects.
to handle that, because Set Rising and
Oh.
the Shanghai
that's
Apocalypse are both built for demigod level characters.
Okay, well, I can't figure out how to get it to load in, but I've got my token in the chat.
Okay, no problem at all.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so yep.
Yeah, I switched back to my
She's really
original
got-
portrait. Since you got an actual human portrait, I won't be the only one.
I like it when you said you're going to be a pilot. You led it literally. Save image. H drive. Don't know what it is, but it never remembers where you last were. I'm sure it used to. Okay, Deadlands Lost Colony tokens. And that is, who's that? That is who's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's your character's name, Bert?
Roger.
I thought it was. Should have guessed it doesn't have a portrait. Right. Assets, tokens, campaign, reset. Roger Holmes. I'll sort you out the square one in a minute.
Well, I can't get the square one to go into Discord at all for some reason. I had a square one. It won't paste.
Strange. Oh, hang on. What's this? My tokens. Actually, I thought Himity looked better than the actual Anuk Shaman token, but anyway. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's a different race though.
I know, but it doesn't matter.
There's not enough artwork for a nuke.
Well, actually, I must admit, what I worked out is Forge World's quite good for nukes. Hero Forge, I mean, not Forge World, two different companies. I will be making Hero Forge versions.
I
for the
backed
character.
that portrait workshop, and that seems to be pretty good.
I think I have that one too. That's pretty nice.
Ha, got it.
You did. Wonderful. Save image. So this will be Roger P.
When you say you backed it, what does that mean? On Kickstarter?
Kickstarter.
Okay.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
it's
you don't-
actually a little different. I can't remember if it's a Kickstarter or whether it's just like buying into the base. I think it was. It was like getting in
Subscription,
early,
too.
and they're still developing it. But
Well, I
it
think-
it's.
I think now you can
there are a lot of
subscribe.
good things on there. It's like a phone app. You do it on your phone.
I think
It's an
actually Hero
iOS
Forge is.
dealio.
I think
Sorry.
Hero Forge is actually nicer because it's a 3D and you basically can spin the thing around and take a snapshot. So you get all these different angles off of one character, whereas the Portrait Workshop is all straight on portrait 2D artwork, which has a different feel, is nice, but probably doesn't have the legs that the Hero Forge will have if you're taking snapshots of 3D figures. And Hero Forge really seems to be adding lots and lots of stuff really fast. So
It's
different
just
strokes.
It's just a
Yeah.
shame that Hero Forge charges so much for the minis.
It's starting to work with Tailspire, which is the 3D VTT. They're currently adding Hero Forge support to Tailspire, which is really cool. So you can basically create your own character and then import it to Tailspire, which is really amazing. Will be amazing.
And then I need to do a refresh.
Let's see. And actually, Foundry VTT is beginning to add 3D if you use one of the Patreon modules. One guy's doing really amazing stuff for that.
Someone said the F word.
Foundry?
Twice.
Twice.
Why?
Wow, in one day.
Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing?
I've been using
What's the
Fancy
story
Grounds
behind
I've
that?
been using Fancy Grounds for 20 years. Well, for 16 years. I don't need to know about something else that's coming along and everyone likes and is all running off to and thinking it's all great and basically abandoning my beloved product.
Actually, I'm not. I've got on Foundry a few times with some friends of mine who were all gung ho on it. I don't know if they're still using it or not, but I just didn't care for it. Again, but then I didn't care for Roll20. Fantasy Grounds was the only VTT I've ever really played on. I've played in one campaign where they were using Roll20, not impressed. I tried out Foundry, not impressed. I keep coming back to Fantasy Grounds because this is RPGs.
I played on all the other ones, but I mean, Foundry's okay, but it's basically Fantasy Grounds. Only it doesn't have the ability to. I mean, you have to set up your own server. So
Well, and my thing with it is web based, so it can be real hinky. The one of the nice things about Fantasy Grounds is that it's its own app, and it behaves as such, which is a good deal. But again, different strokes, right? Like, one of the things I tell people is like, you want to be able to play, you should be able to, the more, if you can talk, if you know how your way around roll 20, if you know your way around Foundry, then you're going to be able to find more games because you can play on any system. If you limit yourself to one particular thing, I mean, I happen to have a preference, and at this point, I'm not looking for quantity, I'm looking for quality. So I tend to play, games I want to play that, and they're on fantasy grounds. But like, for instance, I'm, the only way for me to be playing all the Oracle of War stuff is to get on a roll 20 because there just aren't enough offerings on fantasy grounds. So, and I like the story and I like Eberron, so I'm in there. But other than that, I mean, it's just different strokes, right? But
Eberron for Savage Worlds.
I'm working on that.
You
That's
don't
one
have to
of the
work on it. It's
reasons.
done already.
Yeah, no, I know it is partly, but I'm trying to do it with I'm looking at doing it with Pathfinder,
Ah,
um, Savage Pathfinder. But and I know that Christian's done a lot of stuff. He's moving it over to but he can't share it. But I just like there's a lot of stuff already built in with Savage Worlds Pathfinder, so it's one of the reasons why I was getting into it. I've got big plans for dealing with Eberron in the future, um, but I'm in the middle
Hmm.
of doing a campaign right now that it's been going on for 2 years, and these guys are going to go from zero to fucking gods, and that's great. And then I'm going to want to do some smaller things, shorter things with Everon later on, because I really like Savage Worlds as a game set more than 5e.
when you are allowed to say Foundry, really, it's like.
Yeah, you are really. It's just a joke. It's a joke. It's a more of a joke thing than
Are
anything else.
are we done? Are our characters ready?
Well, it sounds
Mine's
like
mine's
go.
not quite ready,
No,
but it's basically ready. I just haven't picked the powers yet.
I'm ready. So
what I will do in a second, I'm just while I've still got you all here, which is the other reason.
PowerPoints.
Who is
Creation.
Pants is
I've got
Oh,
my
I'm thinking
telescope
about
out.
it.
I'm looking at this big asteroid coming towards the Earth,
I'm
and I get out
thinking
my
about
mobile phone and
switching
go,
out.
"Hey, man, there's an asteroid."
I'm thinking about switching out Havoc for Blind, or Blind for Havoc rather, but I haven't decided yet.
I just deleted blind, if that makes any difference. So I'm not going to be doing blind. I'll probably be doing havoc.
Well, then we don't need to.
okay.
What are
So
the other ones that you have? Just so that maybe we don't
yeah.
double up.
The other thing is, you guys want to make sure you might want to discuss skills just before you all bugger off as well. Just make sure you've got all things covered this time round.
What are the other two powers that you have? Have blind and what and what?
Oh, I have Bolt and Haywire.
Bolt and Haywire I don't have. And Bolt I will delete then, because since you have that, that'd be fine. She doesn't need to be doing
Bolt is a
magic
good
missiles.
Yeah, Bolt is a good basic attack. You might not. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not a bad one to have. Don't think that just because somebody else has it, you shouldn't.
Right. Like,
Well, I'm
whereas
just,
something like
yeah.
Havoc, it's like an AoE that you drop on, you don't necessarily need two of those, right? But but Bolt is sort of like your bread and butter attack. But
Yeah, it's like saying I won't carry a shotgun because somebody else in the party has one. It's
right. As opposed to some more specialized things like the Havoc or even Haywire, right? Where it's like
Boost, protection, things like that.
Well, I
Yeah.
still have selection of a whole bunch of other stuff, so it's not like I'm cutting myself off from everything.
Boost can be sweet.
Boost. Oh, I don't even have boost in here.
Boost lower train.
Burst?
Yeah, I don't think that one's available
It's not
to breakers.
Boost is not a breaker power, unfortunately.
Oh.
You need an Anuk Shaman for boost.
I have burst and confusion and deflection and havoc and stun. And the first one, oh, I have havoc twice.
Well,
Okay,
you know, I was
there we
flip
go.
flopping between blind and fear, so you know,
I don't have fear. That wasn't an option apparently.
No, fear isn't an option.
it's not an option now. Okay.
Your options as a
2,
breaker
3,
are
4, 5.
71.
I added them all as he listed them, so that I've just been deleting ones to pare down to 3.
Blast, blind, bolt, burst, confusion, damage field, deflection, dispel, ghost in the machine, havoc, haywire, object, reading, and stun. Those are your only choices.
Ah, okay, my bad. Well, then I'll leave blind.
I can't remember what race it was that looked like a nuke on Hero Forge.
What is the idea behind trapping limitations?
So the idea, well, basically every power costs so many power points.
Oh, okay.
So you've got 10 power points. When you run out of power points, you can't cast powers. I mean, you can, but for all intents and purposes of this argument, when you're out of power points, you're out of powers, as it were. So trapping limitations are basically limitations that you put on each power, and they reduce the cost.
Okay. And is that an optional limitation, or you choose it at the beginning and it has the limitation?
Sometimes
I think you have to take them at choosing.
At the
The
beginning.
limitation
Okay.
is permanent, and always in effect. So basically, the only limitations you've really got are reducing the range. So basically, if it's a range of touch, you can turn it out to self, which is a breaker you probably don't want to do, except for damage field, I suspect. And aspect. So that's all it's for. It's for reducing the cost. Which, to be honest, you probably don't want to do as most cases.
And then there's another piece to trappings where it's like the flavor of it, right? Like, as you know, like bolt is the generic thing, right? But for instance, like my breaker thing, like you're shooting out like this cloud of like nanobot things that are going out and doing the damage, right? So like the quote unquote trapping is like, it's not a lightning bolt, it's a cloud of bots that might do lightning damage as they shock, if I were to call it out that way. But when you do that, you'd kind of set it up too. Some DMs like you to like have a particular damage type that could be, consider. I don't think Dawes is doing that, but it could be, right? So if you said, I'm casting a firebolt type thing, right? And then, then he has the option of making creatures resistant to fire, right?
Yeah, and then you can't suddenly say, well, it's an ice bolt now. You've got to pick what it is.
Right,
If you want to get it's a new power.
Pick it. That's what I mean, right?
It's a new power. If you want to have an ice bolt, it's got to be a new power from a firebolt, yeah.
Yeah, and like in Savage Pathfinder, I have the bolt thing, but mine is a fireworks burst. Because my character likes sparkly things, so all her trappings tend to be sparkly, like the glitter whirlwind and the fireworks burst on her stuff.
So rule set wise, like the versatility's there, so it's just sort of more generic stuff, and then the trappings are sort of what you add to it as you're creating your character to make your character and the powers unique, as it were.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I still need to pare down to 3, and I'm down to 5, so I'm getting close.
Yeah, that's not all there is to it, but that was my point. Was it?
Yeah, that's good enough, really.
How good is deflection? Like, how good is it having something defensive as opposed to offensive? Because usually defense isn't worth as much as offense. Any thoughts?
Buffs are good.
You've got to bet. At the end of the day, you've got to bear in mind that ranged combat in Savage Worlds is quite scary.
Quite scary. How do I
Basically,
factor that
all I
then?
need to do to hit you with a ranged weapon is roll a 4.
So anything that can change that is good. Defensive is very good.
Okay. Let's see. All right, it's 3. If I put deflection is the most expensive one. That's actually kind of remarkable. Huh.
Because it's actually quite effective. It is quite effective.
Duration, negative to attack. It doesn't. Oh, the range is smarts. So if I do deflection, I can actually affect a whole bunch of people. Is that what's happening? Or I'm just affecting one person within the range?
It depends on how many power points you spend. It'll tell you inside that it affects you. But for additional power points, you can, include other, members of your party.
Got it.
With like the attack spells, that if you want, with an area of attack, area of effect, if you don't want to hit your own party and they're in the area of effect, you have to spend extra power points. But power points regenerate pretty quickly in Savage Worlds. Plus, you can spend bennies to get power points back. So.
Okay. Well, I think I will be taking. So far, I'm taking Havoc and Deflection.
Well,
yeah,
and so
hates Havoc. I'm telling you right now, Dialswalk hates Havoc.
Well, and here's the other thing.
Who hates Havoc?
The GM, which is why you need to have it twice.
Yes. Everybody needs to have Havoc, and they just hit all his people with Havoc one after another.
So, and
I
other
need
thing
it twice?
is that, I mean,
How does
just
that
in general, like you tend to want to you do what you want, but like, you know how like in 5e, right? You want to have a couple concentration, you want to have some offensive, but you also want to have some saving throw spells, right? So in this, same kind of concept. You want to have, one offensive and one defensive and, one utility type might be a good way to think about it.
Yep. Okay.
But your call, right? I mean,
I don't see any utility. I just see physical damage, mental damage, and 1 defense.
Well, something like protection, you can apply extra armor to yourself. It adds extra.
Oh no, I'm gonna do
like
the
for
deflection.
instance, Haywire I consider to be utility, right?
Oh, okay.
It's much more on like damaging necessarily adversaries.
Understood. I couldn't take Haywire though, because it has all sorts of prereqs that I wasn't fit for. Okay, I got it though. That makes sense. Okay, let's see. I don't think I want this one, just because. Now, which is better, stun or confusion? What do you guys recommend? Or nobody, or they're just different?
Either one of them is good because you're going to just it's going to support your other players, don't you? You support everyone else. If I'm in the middle of a fight hacking away and you confuse one of my enemies, it's going to help me.
I like confuse because it only costs 1 point, 1 power point. So that's something I could use more often. Whereas stun apparently is more powerful.
Well, stun, it's interesting. I think is stun default to an area of effect? I'm not sure.
No, they're both smarts.
Okay, so that's okay then. Linda.
End of victim's next turn. Duration special. So I guess stun has a more permanent effect as well, whereas confusion, it just lasts temporarily.
Well, both of them they have to if they recover it, they recover. Once if they make the dice roll, the skill roll they need to make to recover, they recover.
Well, confusion literally says end of victim's next turn, so
Yeah.
maybe they have a roll, but it fades immediately anyhow.
I think I need to zoom in a bit for the portrait. So I've just made a custom icon for Himini. I'm just
And what's the advantage? What's the point of having a? Oh, I hope I didn't do this permanently. There we go. What's the point of having a limitation on confusion when the PowerPoint's cost is 1 already? Like the PowerPoint cost doesn't go down.
Well, I wouldn't say there is any benefit to having a limitation on confusion anyway, because they're offensive. Usually, you probably put the limitations on.
The advantage is anything that would drop it below a 1 becomes a +1 on the casting.
Good point. Yes, I saw that today. Actually.
Oh, okay.
So if you were to make your confusion touch based as opposed to range, you'd be able to cast it at a +1 so long as you touch the guy first.
But you've got to touch the guy.
Okay. Don't need to touch the guy. Well, I think I'm going to go with. I don't know. It's between confusion and stun for the last slot.
Yeah, just pick it. Yeah, just pick which. I mean, which one? Confusion makes them distracted and vulnerable, doesn't it?
Yes, distracted and vulnerable.
Yes, that means they're easier for everyone to hit. So if you got to put it up against something that we're all attacking, you put that on it. We can lay waste to it in a few seconds. Whereas stun just means it can't move, doesn't it? But it doesn't get any bonuses to attack it, does it?
That's the other really cool thing about Savage Worlds is that like it really is like a team dealio. Whereas like unlike a lot of the other like resource ones where you're just blasting away trying to kill hit points, like so what Jiminy was saying is huge. Like you do it as a team. So if one of us makes them easier to hit, and then you get a couple other people that can really hit, or like if there's not, but if there was a rogue in the group, like setting him up for the rogue sneak attack damage can be huge, right? So even though like one character's not making the even though it means that like one of us is like doing the blind or the confused or the stun, right? It sets it up for
everybody else,
for the crew to be able to
now,
to waffle stomp the competition, and that's sort of
because when they're distracted and vulnerable, they get minus. Is it distracted is -2 to their rolls, and vulnerable is you get +2 against them,
damage.
And what is stun? Is stun a superset of that, or is it?
No, stun just makes them so they
track?
can't do anything, but you don't get any bonuses to hit them. So.
Okay, I'm going with confusion. Boom, my character is set. Thank you, everybody. That is good.
Just
I feel like that's going to be good.
No, I need you to say something, Himini.
Himini, I'm himinim, niminim.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to sort. I have to sort the graphics out.
Are you doing the OBS thing? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've already got it. I've just got to update it, but it's
Yeah, you got to change it to different players, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got to change to different players. I've got to sort out the portraits, and that's the bit I need to test. So that's fine.
Can you import my character from Savage US, or do I need to export it and put it in the chat or something? Can you import it from the campaign?
You can export it. Let me go and
well,
check.
I'm asking Kevin whether he can just import it from his campaign since he has access to the character. That might be the easiest way to do it.
If you go to export and do plain text and just copy it and paste it in chat, it works too.
That probably is the best bet. I was just hoping.
Okay.
I'm just Because do you know what? I'm not convinced it's showing me right. So
Plain
campaign
text.
character. Yep.
Happy to
not-
clipboard.
So if I go to campaigns, okay. So players.
I'll let you do it first in case it works.
Oh, I can't even. I'm looking in my campaign. And I can see I've got a campaign. I can see I've got players, but I can't see your character sheets. So God knows how I'd get it out. Is the honest answer. I've never used the campaign option before. So yeah, export it as text, and I'll just boot it in.
And where do you want me to paste it? In Discord?
Yeah, Discord, Deadlands Lost Colony chat.
In Discord chat, you'll see I did it up above.
Above all the portraits.
Oh, I haven't been looking at the chat. Okay, here we go. Here comes my character. Boom.
Wonderful stuff. Okay, I then get to play I get to then play formatting in Notepad++. Okay. Let's.
Now is Deckard from Blade Runner? What's going on with Deckard? Okay.
Well, that was where the name came from. It was that or Ripley.
Ripley would have been good. I should have named my character Ripley. That would be a good one.
Can.
Yeah, you can rename it anytime you want.
Yeah.
Well, she's already a Linda. It's too late.
Linda Carter, yeah. It really is Wonder Woman, right?
My next one will be Ripley.
Why didn't you call it? Why didn't you call her Linda Ripley?
Yeah, Ripley's daughter was named Linda.
Linda Ripley, believe it or not.
I think I'm making that up, but maybe it was true.
True now. It's true in one of the multiverses.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
So now I go NPCs. I go to uncategorized. I say make an NPC.
And now I'm going to get out my long-range nuclear weapon and blow up this asteroid. So next week we can get on with something more fun.
Don't forget the question mark, Daz.
What's the question mark?
Thank you very much. I had forgot the question mark.
What is question mark?
So I need to delete Linda Carmichael. I need to delete Linda Carmichael so I can import.
I don't know what the question mark is. It's some savage US thing.
No, it's basically when you import an NPC, you need a question mark to make him a wild card. Okay, you're going to have to.
Thank you.
You're going to have to reset your portrait.
Character? Oh, my portrait. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I get? Oh, there's the character. So how do I grab the character? Oh, I think I did.
Yeah, you should be able to just grab it.
I think I did.
You did.
Okay.
Oops. That's not the character portrait. Sorry.
She's an insect. Hello, insect.
I'm not
waiting for the UI to catch
insects.
Up.
They're very tasty.
There we go. You're gifted.
There we go. Give it another shot.
There we go.
There she is.
Then
Boom.
what I need to do is I need to go to main. I need to go
awesome.
to inventory. You're
feeling good about
this.
Looks
like you're going to have to transfer your gear, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just go back to typing it in.
I can get your background in.
Inventory.
Main.
Mundane items.
Notes. Go. And then
we have created characters. I thought we were not going to. There's no that we're going to get to play
add the arcane background in the
nearly 5 o'clock. So
yeah, I've done that.
maybe he'll do an intro, but maybe it'll be not next week, but the week after we play the actual game.
Well, no, you're now feeble rather than female. You're human because I can't spell. Age at death setting is Deadlands Lost Colony. There we go. So
Thank you.
Do that, and I need to fix the ignored. I need to work out why the ignore dim. I need to work out why the ignore dim thing is breaking stuff. But there we go.
Spectral imager. How the hell did I get a spectral imager?
You're a breaker. You're a breaker. You have one.
Oh, you added that. Oh, that's like, what the hell did I press?
No, that's part of the kit. Whenever you selected the breaker
okay.
background, the breaker edge it gave it to you automatically.
Got it. Didn't remember. I was like, what the hell is that?
Okay, I'll have to sort out the tokens and stuff, but that's okay because I'll have them in the party sheet. Okay, right. Well, I think we're there. I think it was a. Is everyone happy with their characters? Any real questions? Have you sorted everything out? Okay, so next thing's next then. Do you? The only other thing you've got to decide is whether you guys know each other or whether you're all going to sort of meet next week. I say next week, next time, I should say. That's really up to you guys. Again, it's down to you.
Well, I think I know everyone. They all know me because I'm like a local hero. You know?
Well, we know you. You may not know us.
Yeah, I'm famous
You
for
know how
being
that
really
works.
tall and wearing a cowboy hat.
Okay. Well, okay, I think my
Basically,
inventory is set.
that's fine. Basically, the adventure settled the fact that you being player characters, will run towards the interesting situations and sort of large amounts of explosions and smoke. So as long as you do that, we'll be fine next week.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Nobody in this group would ever think of running towards trouble, right? Or splitting the party. I mean, God forbid. I mean, splitting the damn party.
Okay, so from our perspective, we've got a pilot, we've got an engineer, we've got a doctor, we've got a tank in a cowboy hat.
Yep, tank and a cowboy hat who hasn't got a gun. Yep.
We've got an archaeologist and we've got a breaker. That's an interesting group.
And one backup breaker.
CB radio.
Sorry?
Breaker.
Yeah, breaker. I got that too late. Sorry. Right. Okay. Well, I think that was a successful thing. Thanks for that. Who, if you want to, unless there's anything else you need to do in your characters, and you want to pre-nab for next Saturday, I can always shut this down and spin up next Saturday's game if you want to nab your characters now.
Well, I want to nab her because I want to change her damn portrait.
Or I can.
I don't know who's available for next thing, so I'll just wait. I'll wait
for
till
next
Saturday.
week.
For next Saturday, yeah.
Different game.
Oh, you had me at Calzone.
Yeah, well, exactly. So if everyone's happy, I'll let you. If everyone's updated the characters and they're happy. If you haven't done backgrounds, please just think about them and let me have them as soon as you've written them. As I say, just that way, if you want to put juicy things in to let me screw with your characters in a storytelling kind of way, all the more better. But if not, and you just want a basic background, that's fine. Obviously, characters who've taken the veteran of the Wasted West have a lot more background because they've got to explain how things happen to them and what they've done.
I've already done that.
That's fine. I haven't looked at any of the backgrounds yet. I'm just saying I will take that away. So I'm going to bounce Fantasy Grounds and spin it back up.
Oh, quick question. We don't need to go back, but what was the P digit and T digit on each of the character cards?
Well, that's pennies and
toughness.
Toughness, yeah.
Oh, P is for what?
P is P power points. Parry, parry, toughness, and bennies, yeah.
Yeah, parry,
toughness, and bennies. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So your parry is the number the bad guys have to roll to hit you in hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, okay.
The toughness is the number they have to do, the amount of damage they have to do to shake you. And if they do 4 ball points, then your toughness, they will wound you. Okay. Fantasy Grounds is up again. For next Saturday's game, if you want to play nabbage of characters.
How many characters have you got made?
I do believe 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right, so there's plenty to pick. So I'll just. Which one hasn't been picked? Do you know?
Let's have a look. Savage Tales chat. Well, I know someone was. I think.
Guacamole wants calzone.
Yep.
I don't have to have calzone. I just like the. Literally, calzone is what attracted me to that.
Go and have calzone.
I will. Yeah. Bear in mind, calzone is the sergeant. So obviously, it's.
He's the sergeant. Oh.
Yeah, he's the leader of this merry little band.
He's totally vanilla. He has like no abilities. He's just like flatline.
No, he's actually
He's
interesting enough.
well-rounded.
He's seasoned. If the rest of the party
He's-
aren't seasoned, he's seasoned.
Oh, I'm not sure I want to be calzone. I want to be pizza slice, not calzone. Oh well. Well, I don't know how well we'll do if I'm calzone. Let's put it that way.
Again.
It doesn't matter. It's all fun.
It's all fun. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be calzone then.
Elspeth wants to be Margaret, so I'm not having Margaret.
I didn't realize he was seasoned. That's his special ability then.
Yeah, he's got one.
Okay.
He's got one advance more than everyone else because basically
I was like,
I misread something and I thought I misread something and therefore he got seasoned when no one else did. But then I decided actually it makes more sense. It makes more sense that the sergeant is slightly more advanced than the rest of the players anyway.
I figured nobody would want him because he had nothing special. He was just well-rounded. So I was like, oh, I'll just take him. And I like the name, calzone. It's a good name.
So okay, it looks like Doc Wilson's gone and Bill Bullseye Stevens has gone.
I'm still trying to join the campaign.
That's okay.
Try it again.
Someone liked Buster, didn't they? I think.
Yep. And someone wanted Maurice de la Croix, didn't they?
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm having a look. Rannick's happy with any of them. Yeah, I think someone was. Someone did mention Buster, didn't they? And because I pointed out the gear, said where's his bazooka, and he did have one. And then I read the adventure and
The Karaticus said he's happy with Buster.
Yeah. Oh, but I think well, yeah, that's it. So it comes down to Kraticus isn't here. He wanted Buster, didn't he? So, well, no one's picked the replacement, which is Private Felix Fetch Lemon.
Authorization failed. Time to do the password.
Boom, done it. There you go.
Okay.
I'm Private Fetch Lemons, whatever that is.
Well, Fetch, he's very good at acquiring gear. But so actually, what you'll need to remind me is Fetch Lemon. Okay, you've had 3
Doubly
advances.
so for citrus fruit.
So you've got the replacement major hindrance. Okay, currently, right now, you always are surprised in the first round of combat. You always subtract 2 from notice rolls to detect ambushes or booby traps. And also, you're at -3 on all common knowledge rolls. Plus, of course, you'll get all the worst duties. Okay, now, what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to make you roll them today because it'd be more fun, is what's going to happen is at the start of the campaign, at the start of the one-shot next week, and you'll have to remind me this because otherwise you're really nobbled. You will get to make 3 smarts roll at -2. For each success, you can choose one of the penalties from above that you no longer satisfy because the rest of the squad have drummed into you how to survive.
All right. Okay.
I thought that'd be the interesting way to do it. Also means yeah, because the new guys they were used. Historically they didn't know what they were doing, and the veterans had to keep them alive. So you're the new guy. Everyone else has been around the block a couple of times.
Do what I say, and you'll be just fine.
Exactly. Exactly. And I wouldn't worry too much if you've noticed your equipment lists. And
Blind leading the blind.
So,
do we need to do the? Do we need to do the? Is there a setting and options we need to do again?
No, nothing like that. You should be fine.
Not this one. Okay.
No. Did I sort out the modules? If someone can do an activation, what modules can you see?
I just did that. I did. There's a World War II module, and then the normal modules.
That's it. That's all you need. Yeah, that's all you need.
Okay. I'm gonna do calzone then.
Right. Okay.
Boom. Calzone.
Time for streaming is over.
Yeah, I noticed that Bullseye only has a pistol. I sure hope to get more weapons than that.
We shall see.
Bye.